shadows gather where the truth once stood. A kingdom of confusion carved out of falsehood. But he walks through the ruins like a prophet reborn. A voice once in fire, a mind on is gone. The chaos watches with an all-seeing glare. Guardian of reason in a world unaware. When the overlord stalls at the edge of the frame, the faithful rise up, they already know his name. I'm here to resurrect the sinking journey of common sin. I come to wake the sleeping, the church will bring the fear. No one else, no illusions, no hollow incompetence. Here to resurrect the sinking journey of common sense. Misled, thinking truth from the wreckage, raising dawn from the dead. Every word is a weapon, shot men declare. Exposing every shadow we pretend not to fear. And the overlord marches with the suffering command. A beast of judgment, the mortal chemist man. On his growl rings through the silence of the night. The loyal understand, Trigger keeps the balance right. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. I'm making the chaos of found to
All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whew, I'm a little bit out of sorts. I don't know why, but the chat is not working in the studio. So I have it popped out from the stream itself, but we are struggle streaming a little bit. I'm hoping that comes back, but either way, just bear with me. And if you see like flashes like that, that is me going over there. You know, we still have the StreamYard chat, so that should be good. All right, I was asleep. No sound? Okay. I was like, not that too. Who do we got? We got Liberty plus a TV. Welcome. Hey, sister. Hello. We also got Wicked Dream. And we got Box lurking in the background. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you guys. So you might have seen that our Vice President, JD Vance, was on Joe Rogan the other night. Now, unfortunately, we are not going to be able to, yes, today is Wednesday. We're not going to be able to cover that directly because they will copyright that. However, Asmongold, as you might have seen on the thumbnail there, did his own coverage. And I was like, well, let's cover that. I've been in the ghetto for hours now. I'm still giggling my fool head. Well, I'm glad you're having a good time. Keep your head on a swivel. All right. As always, guys, if you can any other video, please do let me know. Oh.
JD Vance apparently went on Joe Rogan. Here we go. Let's listen to the first one. I guess the first one we'll listen to is the Epstein one, right?
Of course.
Where's the link to this?
Start where it gets hot.
I guess we'll start with Iran, since we were just talking about Iran, actually. Just go down the list.
You got to kind of use all tools at our disposal. The military is one tool, but diplomacy is another tool. And I'm very frustrated by the Americans and frankly by people in other countries who are like, you cannot negotiate with the Iranians. Well, then what is your proposal to get people to stop shooting at ships in the Strait of Hormuz?
Blow them up, kill them.
Damn. See, that's something that has been surprising. Like, I did not know that Asmon was a little wild there. He's a little wild boy. And, you know, I think for the fact that he was in the video game world for a long time is why I just never hopped on board. But I appreciate that. Like, he's got a very politically, like a normie view that's on the right. Meaning he's not going to be super consistent with every policy and this and that. And he is just going more off of how he feels and how he sees the cause and effect. It's not so much about, oh, is this going to make the Democrats look bad? Or is this going to make... That doesn't seem to really be his perspective. He just wants America to be great. And there used to be a party for that, but not anymore.
To stop shooting at ships in the Strait of Hormuz.
Blow them up, kill them.
Like, those are people, man.
You can bomb them. You can take away their radar. You can take away some of their drones and some of their missiles, but it's just too easy to fire at ships in the straits. So you've got to actually be willing to talk and to try to figure out the problem.
You have to get rid of the government and then have the government enforce it and then stop the rest of them from doing it.
What is there?
Oh, is that all? Is that all, Asmon? Is that all we need to do is get rid of the government? And, like, he's not wrong. But the reason you're not going to hear any serious political person say that is because, for very obvious reasons, we can't just get rid of the government. But as an idealist, I'm down with that one.
You have to get rid of the government and then have the government enforce it and then stop the rest of them from doing it.
What is their proposal? The people that think you shouldn't negotiate with Iran.
I think that their proposal is to bomb and bomb and bomb.
Yes.
And the honest view, Joe, is that they do not actually have a solution. If you actually ask them, what do you want us to do? What is the goal that you're trying to achieve? You know, they'll say things like, "We'll just bomb them to oblivion."
Bomb to hell.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? Isn't that what Asmon just said? But, you know, again, as he's kind of just you know, throwing it out there, there are people up in the highest levels of government who are like, yeah, we bomb them. And then, well, you know, we'll worry about that when we get there. It's insane. Shout out to Nikki, Dark Angel. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. So I just saw a random Asmon clip where a girl spawned in his streaming room. The unemployed are shooketh, as they say. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very good to see you.
They'll say things like, "We'll just bomb them to oblivion."
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. We can drop a lot of bombs, but what does that accomplish if there's still a crazy person who's still unwilling to shoot a few drones at the Strait of Hormuz?
I don't even see how negotiating with them is going to solve that, personally.
Okay, maybe you don't see it, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. Because, hey, if we try to negotiate with them and it doesn't work, bombing them does not go off the table. That's still an option. Just practically speaking, that is you know, that is what, you know, how it works. Oh man, so I can't heart any of the oh shit, what just happened? Okay, we're not using that. We're not using that. I don't know what the fuck that was, but okay. Well, I can't heart the super chats, and I can't do goals. But you guys know what is good. A shout out to Jennifer with the big $10. Thank you so very, very much. You guys know $5 in that first hour, and the entire stream is ad free. I'm thinking about what is going on? Okay, there we go. I'm thinking about switching it around, but you guys are doing so good with it anyway. So thank you. Of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. That is 307 out of 400 to the movie night. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hormuz.
I don't even see how negotiating with them is going to solve that, personally.
What the president has done, I think very, very capably, is said, we're going to use military force in this situation when it's connected to something we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So if you shoot at ships, we're going to shoot at the facilities at which you use to shoot at the ships.
Yeah, sure.
But
Shout out to Arrow, aka Jennifer, aka Eighth Sister, aka H.R. Death Poet. We love them all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We dive back in here. Nikki says the United States has been negotiating with Iran for 47 years. It hasn't ended without Iran immediately breaking the deal. And like that's totally fine. That, well, it's not totally fine, but I mean, in terms of the principle is that if you are going to negotiate, I'm closer in line to what Asmon is saying, but I just have the practicality of the other side. And so you're right that if we're just negotiating, and they never follow through with it, and we always have to be at war, and it's never ending. Well, then yeah, we got to bomb them to hell and then occupy the area. It's one or the other. But pretending that that isn't an option at all. Well, okay, we shouldn't be starting with these fights at all if that's the case. That's crazy. So if someone dropped a link. Welcome back. All right. I don't know what is going on with my every 2 seconds. I'm like,
we're going to shoot at the facilities at which you used to shoot at the ships.
Yeah, sure.
But we're not just going to do something open-ended indefinitely. We're not just going to bomb and bomb and bomb. We're going to try to use our military force as one of the many tools that we have to solve the problem. And obviously, like, I'm biased, but I think that's exactly the right approach. I think you have to read between the lines a little bit, because if you look at what Mike Pence or some of the conservative hawks, like people who voted for us but have been very critical of me, very critical of the administration, if you actually look at what they're proposing, they just want the military campaign to go on forever, and they can't actually identify what it is that they're trying to accomplish. None of them can identify what it is they're trying to accomplish. And I read two things between the lines. I think some of them want us to accomplish a complete change in the government of Iran.
That's what I want.
Topple the clerics and to replace those clerics with somebody who's much friendlier.
And so those are the two ways that this could go. Either there is a negotiating path, or there's not. And so I'm not against, hey, all-out war if that is what is necessary. But I just don't think it's necessary. And so given that it's not necessary, why are we flirting with that?
Yeah.
Like, look, what is our experience with doing that?
It's not good.
It's not good, right? And so, like, if the Iranian people want to rise up and change their government, that's up to them. But we're not going to
It's not, though, right? I mean, if they're getting shot and, like, massacred in the streets,
reasons.
Then you've kind of got to get rid of them. I mean, like, I mean, like, they tried and they got massacred.
And 150,000 ground troops in order to accomplish a change in a regime, unless the people on the ground themselves want to accomplish that outcome. Now, we're not going to send the troops in regardless, but, like, to propose sending in the troops, you're basically saying that the U.S. military should do the job for the Iranian people. We're not in that business anymore. We're just not. And then I think a second outcome that people are, or whether they're aware of it or not, is what I call the Libya outcome. So if you look at the end result of our Libya policy,
we should have never killed Gaddafi. He was a G.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with all that he was a G, but very clearly that was not good. Libya is a failed state.
I always thought Gaddafi was super cool. I like the way he dressed. I like the way he acted. The guy was a badass. Should have never got rid of him.
After Gaddafi was killed by the Obama administration, by the way.
I'm not even convinced on Saddam. I'm not.
Again, not for the same reasons, but it does seem to be the case that if we look at regime change and we topple the government, then it doesn't really work out in our favor. GMAFB? The U.S. is always in that business, and he's right about Gaddafi. What is GMAFB? Good morning, America, fucking bitches.
Like, maybe he was a bad guy, but, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, that was our boy. Like, yeah. I mean, I guess we had to get rid of like Osama bin Laden. We had to get rid of him, right? Because like 9/11, but like he lost weight. Yeah.
Again,
Saddam was a psycho. Good. Thank God. Do you think the guy running Syria is not a psycho? He's a total psycho. Great. Amazing. We need somebody like that. He was awful to his people. Good. Keep him under control. Gassed his own people. Which one?
very stupid decision. What happened? Libya basically turned into a failed state.
It did.
You had a refugee crisis. You had people pouring into Europe, pouring into other
And
parts.
he said that, by the way. Gaddafi said that.
Said what? That he's like, hey, don't come on over here because it's not going to do what you want it to do, even
Look
if you
what he
fuck me
fucking
up.
dude. One of the most
So he just searched Gaddafi quote about African migrants.
widely cited quotes from Muammar Gaddafi comes from 2010. Tomorrow, Europe might not even be European or even black, as there are millions who want to come in. We don't know what will happen, what will be the reaction of the white and Christian Europeans faced with this influx of starving and ignorant Africans. Man, if you do not pay me, millions of Africans will come knocking on your door. You're bombing a wall that stood in the way of African migration to Europe. You will burn in hell for thousands of migrants from Africa.
I mean, any arguments?
Whether they're aware of it or not, is what I call the Libya outcome. So if you look at the end result of our Libya policy after Gaddafi was killed by the Obama administration, by the way, again, a very stupid decision. What happened? Libya basically turned into a failed state. You had a refugee crisis. You had people pouring into Europe, pouring into other parts of Asia, other parts of Africa. You had a lot of violence, a lot of terrorism come from that. I do think that there are people who...
There it is. He was right. He was right about everything. That was crazy. Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
I know it's proven on purpose too. Yeah, I think you would support all these wars if they were happening at this moment. Well, yeah, and I don't know about Libya. I was always confused by Libya.
would like that to be the outcome in Iran. But then I say, again, what is in our interest? How is it in the United States' interest to have 94 million desperate people flooding into Europe, flooding into the United States, to have, you know, sort of the terrorist infrastructure that can get established when you fan terrorists all over the world?
He's totally right about this. If he knew that, the higher-ups knew that, exactly, right? That's why Obama is a traitor. Does JD not wanting a regime change in Iran make you not want to support him in 2028 for president? What if
I don't want to support him in 2028 for president either way. Now, that doesn't mean that if, you know, we get down there and he's the only Republican that is not crazy far right and we have a crazy leftist in, which is very likely, then sure, I'll vote for him. But he seems like he's too stuck with this. He wasn't, he hasn't really been, like, out there talking about this in such a way that is going to help him. And it stands to reason that even though there's, you know, still time, that this is going to be a big thing that's brought up, and he's going to have to answer for all of Trump's failures, whether you call him that or not. He's going to have to answer for them. And I don't know, all the other candidates are going to be like, see, that guy is just, you know, more Trump bad. And maybe not so specifically because they got to get the Trump voters, but you've got to show him. It was like, I think I saw a clip of maybe it was Nick Fuentes, who was like, they're going to say, like, Mr. Vice President, you were right there. Why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you save us? He said, it's not the only time Gaddafi was right about future events. He predicted the U.S. Would facilitate his death, just like they did Saddam Hussein. Well, I mean, we kind of saw that one coming, but clearly you knew what was good. Shout out to Quality and Deference, because vagina over on Rumble. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you. Said, how did JD mess up? Well, I don't actually know. So I skipped through a little bit of this, as I always do, and it seemed interesting enough. But I didn't see the exact part that had Asman label this. He actually said all of this on camera, and you know, I was a little. We did a 9-hour Fireball stream last night. So I need something simple and easy and important. And we got our vice president. And let's see if it's going to help him out. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Does JD not wanting regime change?
Quality said liked and shared. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So very, very much. You guys know how much that really, really does help. It's free. It's easy. It just takes a second. It does not even matter if you think anybody is going to click on the link. Just by telling the platform you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people.
Exactly, right? That's why Obama is a traitor. Does JD not wanting regime change in Iran make you not want to support him 2028 for president? What have I always said? What have I always said?
I don't know. What have you always said?
I don't agree with JD Vance on the outlook on this. I think that Iran is an existential threat, but I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Like, yeah, if I could pick somebody that more closely aligns with, if I could pick somebody that's 10 out of 10, I'd pick somebody who's 10 out of 10. But if I have to pick somebody who's 8 or 9 out of 10, I'm going to pick somebody who's 8 or 9 out of 10.
Over somebody who's 6 or 4 or 3 out of 10. Shout out to Grand Designs Enjoyer. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. How are we doing? Nikki said, Condoleezza Rice basically called the Prime Minister of Canada stupid and said he should be careful pushing the U.S. She is not wrong. It's sad to see how often we could look back at people explicitly warning us about what's going to happen. But the other side of that is that there's a lot of people saying a lot of things about the future, and inevitably some of them are going to be true. I'm not saying that to take away from what she said, but just keep that in mind, that just because somebody said something before about the future and it was right, doesn't mean that they specifically predicted it, but it wasn't wrong. Wasn't wrong. Quality said, did I say that twice? I don't know. I'm all out of sorts. Like I said, fireball night, and I set my alarm for 7:26, so I was asleep then. And then we had the struggle stream with the shit. So whatever. But no, Iran isn't a threat. Fair enough. Agreed. At least not to us.
If I have to pick somebody who's 8 or 9 out of 10, I'm going to pick somebody who's 8 or 9 out of 10. I'm not going to go and let somebody who's 1 out of 10 go and be the person instead of somebody who's 9 out of 10. Yeah, like, I mean, let's say, like, if it comes down to vote, like, would I vote for JD Vance? Absolutely, I would. Same with Marco Rubio. I immediately would. Absolutely. Why is that? It's because I agree with most of what they're doing. And I think that they move things in a direction that's beneficial to me. Now, would there be other people that I would want to vote for instead of that? Yes, I think so. Would I want somebody who's more extreme in some cases? Yes, I would. But I don't think that that's not always realistic.
I've just realized that I can put my my chat here on only YouTube or Twitch, so that it doesn't have to double bump them. Crazy. I guess we'll use YouTube. All right. Sorry, I just realized that.
In some cases, yes, I would. But I don't think that that's not always realistic. And you have to be realistic. And so what I do is I look at what is the next step. Not what's the last step.
Oh, no.
What's the next step? And you take steps one at a time.
Oh, Jesus. Now my other chat is not working. All right, well, can we reload this? How do we reload that? Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. I hate that it doesn't let me do the goals or anything from here, but I know you guys are amazing. You know what the goals are. And Fireball, indeed, is kid whiskey. That is why I drink it. It's so funny because there's always somebody who comes in the chat. He's like, oh, Fireball's so good. That's so good. Oh, yeah, man. Now, first of all, I was in college. I was in high school. And, you got to drink something cool. Oh, the worse it tastes, the cooler I am. Yeah, I went through that. And then I grew the fuck up. By the time I was like 23, 22, it's like, yo, you're not going to shame me by the type of alcohol that I'm drinking. I don't care about you having fun. I'm not drinking it for you. I'm drinking it for me. That's why, I mean, again, when we have... whenever we get that sponsorship from this company, then hey, I'm it's a girl, not a girly company, but it's like a soft company. It's not like hard ass but I don't care because it tastes good and does what I want it. Shout out to Dick Johnson. Welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. My chat is not working in the studio, so I'm not able to set the goals. So I'll tell you when we're at the 1 hour mark, and then just use a clock or something. I'll tell you when we're at the 1 hour mark, and then you can just do the reminders like you always do, which I so very much appreciate. Welcome. Quality said, I like Not Your Father's root beer. Yeah, I had that once. It's good. It's tasty. So why am I going to care what you think? The gayest thing you can do is care about what another man is drinking. If you don't like Fireball, don't drink the Fireball. I drink the Fireball because it is a shitty whiskey, and I want to remind myself of the world when, or the life of being a degenerate, to make sure that I felt like shit today, so I don't go and do more degenerate shit. There's a method to the madness. Grenazine said Trump has mentioned need to reassess the tariff Canada paying reassess the tariffs Canada is paying because of the damages caused to America by the fires occurring on their land after mismanagement of forestry and the environmental ideology reasons. I mean, we saw it happen in California, so it's not like fire's a new thing. So why mismanagement? These kind of fires should only be for a huge accident. Absolutely right. Yeah, right. It's like, oh, sweet, bro, that's so awesome. You're a badass. Yeah, right. Zimas Zimas are pretty gay, but hey. You like a Zima? Drink a Zima. All right. Well, welcome to the party, guys. Let's dive back in.
The next step. And you take steps one at a time. Every once in a while, two at a time. But usually one or two at a time. You having to say this makes me wonder how people vote. I think that there is not a wrong way to vote. The only wrong way to vote is the way somebody else tells you to vote. I'm giving you my reasoning, and I think this is the way people should vote. But if you don't agree with the way that I see things and you think that things are different, you have every right to vote for something different. Does that make sense? So you don't need a tyrant to rule over religious. You need a tyrant to rule over religious fanatics. I agree with that. Yes, definitely. Now, you used to say you didn't vote because you didn't believe in choosing lesser.
All right, DJ. So that's 2.5 hours. If you want to just start your clock for 2.5 hours, if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. We're just struggle streaming, but I really appreciate how you do that. So let's ride.
Yes, definitely. Now, you used to say you didn't vote because you didn't believe in choosing lesser of two evils candidates, but now you're saying you'd vote for that. What changed your philosophy?
Interesting. So someone from his chat, he was saying, I'd rather vote for somebody who's 8 out of 10 than, somebody who sucks. But apparently in the past, he said he's not going to buy into the lesser of two evils vote ever again. It's a similar thing to what I used to say, but then I switched it to I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils because I realized that's what every election is. But it's a matter of you have to actively gain my vote. You don't just get the vote because the other person is bad. Thank you, sir. Bacardi 151. Ay. I remember that shit'll fucking burn. But I had people there was a my best friend from high school. When we went to college, he had a house by Rutgers, and I would come up and visit him. And he had a roommate that would just take a normal, a normal size cup, and it'd be that much Everclear and that much some kind of juice. It's bro, talking about speed running alcoholism. God damn.
What changed? Because I used to say not voting for lesser of two evils. The reality is that it's a case-by-case basis decision.
I'll be your bottom.
That's really what it comes down to more than anything. It's a case-by-case basis decision, and I don't do or make any decision on anybody.
That's a good rule of thumb. But treat things, all of these elections, these politicians as individuals. Having that understanding that we always talk about, where it's it's not your friend. It's not somebody like, oh, are they a nice person? Blah, 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 blah. But understanding that every election is going to have a different political landscape. Every matchup between this Republican and that Republican in the primaries is going to be different than this Republican and that Republican in the primaries. And that's going to be different from you get it. You get it. Oh, smart. I mean, you do want to have the principle, mine being you have to actively earn my vote, but also understand that it can be different. Wicked said you could be drinking Bud Light, and then I think it would be justified in calling you gay. Nope. That is what the woke would say. And I'll tell you why. We have to, we are not the screaming tantrum children of the woke left. And arguably of the woke right. But let's go back over Bud Light. What happened? They gave Dylan Mulvaney the ad campaign, and everybody was like, yo, what the fuck? Then it came out that the marketing leader, whatever, we want to get away from our frat boy image and blah, 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 blah. And so we boycotted. Why? What is the purpose of a boycott? Similar to, like, going on strike. To get something that you feel is owed or just something that you want. So they changed it. They fired the bitch. They got rid of Dylan Mulvaney. They apologized. Fuck yeah, Bud Light. Listening to the people. Understanding where you've made mistakes. It is the cancel culture of the left that said, oh, you did the wrong thing, and now you are forever wrong. So, no. I am going to stand behind a company who listens to what I want. No, I'm not drinking Bud Light anyway, but yeah, I do think it is so like if you boycott just to boycott and then they're gone forever, then the boycott means much less. If the company knows, oh, we stepped in it, but if we listen and change it, then we can do that. That is voting with your dollars. And so completely saying no Bud Light ever again is to say, if you ever mess up even a tiny bit, you're done forever. And what does that do? That makes them not want to, give even a little, and you get these generic bullshit ads. Now again, it's just beer, but it's a microcosm for a larger principle. Let's say it was, an internet provider or one of these phone companies. Then we want to be able to know that we have the power to change things around and that mistakes happen. Wrong decisions happen. But as the Christians love to say, we give them grace. Just my humble opinion. Nikki said, I don't dislike Vance, but I think Marco Rubio would be a better president. I don't know. Rubio's kind of been war hawkish lately. I don't know. It's going to be really hard because I've been saying this the whole time. I don't think it's going to be somebody that we already know about, or at least that I don't know about. I think it's going to be somebody who is, going to be a dark horse. It's just the table is fucking set for it. Oh, yeah, Everclear. Dick said, I don't hate Vance. I just don't know him, even though he doesn't hide from a camera. Well, that's kind of what we were alluding to before, saying that, he's the face of this, and he's not really been anywhere since Iran. He hasn't really done any interviews, and now he is, because now things are slowing down with Iran. Well, beer. If you're going to say boycott is strictly virtue signaling, if you're not willing to capitulate. If you're just saying, oh yeah, Bud Light one time said something wrong, so I'm better because I'm not them. That's virtue signaling. But if you have a practical aspect, if they did this particular thing that I don't like, and so I'm boycotting until we get this. This being fire the bitch, get rid of the wokeness and the ads, all that stuff. If we get that, and then go back to buying their product, if you ever did, that's a perfectly fine boycott. Just, they are still gay. All right.
And I don't do or make any decision on anybody. Like, I have general principles that I make decisions on, but each individual decision specifically is going to be decided specifically, right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the lesser evil. Yeah, right. I mean, that's a case by case. Exactly. And I think also, like, I think I downplayed the cultural value of it. I think that the cultural value and the cultural implications of Trump winning the election were a lot larger than just simply what happens in Iran. I think that him winning the election has made a lot of impact in terms of, like, for example, how people see the country or.
Okay, yeah. Then your boycott would be virtue signaling. Agreed.
How they see, America, or, how they see things like DEI. And I think that the cultural value of that means a lot. And it's always better to have a win than an L. That's the way I would see it. And also, here's another angle for it, is that
You got to kind of use
like
all.
South Africans are getting murdered at very high rates by like random crazy people, and they're being murdered in a racial way, like they're being killed racially, and because of
In a racial way or for a racial reason? Sorry, I don't know why I'm grammar police tonight. I mean, I'm always grammar police, but like, this is the third time I said that.
that, there are a lot of South Africans that are just simply totally okay with this because they'd rather be murdered than be racist. And so there are a lot of people, I've realized, that will literally go down with their ship. And I think the best way to handle that is to just make it happen as fast as possible. Anyway, let me go back. Okay, here we go. Let me look at this.
So Dick says, I've grown to like Asmongold. So what? That sounds like that's different than just saying I like Asmongold. And so is that saying that you didn't used to like him and now you do, or why that phrasing?
Joe Rogan podcast, check it out.
The Joe
All day,
Rogan
all day.
Experience.
During my day, Joe Rogan podcast by night.
All night.
That means I'm going to start until 10:30. I was thinking to myself, well, holy shit, that means I'm going to go to bed at like 4 a.m. I'm going to look like a total crazy person when I try to go talk
That's me right now.
about this book. But
Yeah.
It amazingly, it did work out. Honestly, it actually helped a little bit because you can do that. What's crazy about it to me is just how much the sport has replaced boxing. And like, there's still, obviously boxing is still a big deal.
I wish I'd watched the UFC 250. I don't know why I didn't. I just felt like I'm not really interested. But everybody said it was so cool that I used to be a huge UFC fan, but I don't know. I now regret that. Shout out to Colonel Quail. Welcome. The accelerationism. It's not what people think. Think you want that until it happens. We got Circus. Oh, welcome to the party. No, I mean, like I said, I used to love UFC. I just fell off and stopped caring. Welcome to the party. Dick said, the only problem I used to have with Ass Man was his eyebrows. Now I like them. Okay, weird. And he said, I found Asman in the weirdest way. I was looking for a playthrough of a game, and he came up, and then I got recommended other stuff for him. Yeah, so that like his thing is not being a political commentator. He's a gaming streamer, and just as time progresses and you build your community, you don't necessarily. I forget who I was just talking about this with, but you don't have to only do gaming. You start having people that are just around to see whatever he has to say. And so he ventures off into more cultural stuff, body cam videos, politics, all that kind of stuff. It's just they're saying, I did that whole shopping for a better world fandango. Wouldn't support Gillette and made big. Want my pens and lighters, so fuck the bunnies. You guys know about the big conspiracy, right? You guys know about the big lighter conspiracy. Isn't he super political now? Like, politics is his main thing. I think so. I don't watch his streams. I just watch, the VODs that come out. But yeah, most of the time he seems to be talking about politics. But I don't know if it could, I just don't know. It could be the type of thing where, he streams for 8 hours and he's playing a game for the first 3 hours and then he's looking at some stuff. And so I don't know the actual makeup of his streams, but he definitely talks about politics a lot. Yeah, that's what they've been saying. That's what they've been saying. Dick, are you on live chat? You might be a second behind or so. Yeah, might be a second behind. But we gotta look at the Bic lighter conspiracy. All right, it's been a while, but hopefully the algorithm will do its thing. The Bic lighter conspiracy. I really like my puff, so I always need a lighter. And so usually I'll just, get something like this on Amazon, and cool. But then I'm like, why am I buying 5 at a time? You go into a convenience store and they have the whole thing. Why don't I just get that? So I did. And you can see that it's not super full. It's not super full. That is a 50-pack that I think came with 2 or 3 extras. And I forgot to mention in the video that I had already had a full regular 5-pack. I had a full regular 5-pack when I ordered the 50-pack. And so I was still using the OG lighters when I started noticing this. It's not just the 50-pack. And they have all been dying within a week to 2 weeks. We had learned the childproof thing is different. That where it's made, all that stuff can be different. But I've tried all these different variables, and I think Bic lighters just suck now. Yeah, like you saying, the husband bought a Bic and it died super fast. I got one the same day and it's still going. Like, yeah, the notion of a lighter running out, like that really wasn't a thing, especially for stoners. It was you would lose it or somebody would Bic it and steal it before you would ever run out. And then all of a sudden, you started seeing this. And so this is more of an update because I posted this last year, and the 50-pack was damn near full then. So within a year, I've gotten through 20 or so odd lighters. But I'm a man of science, so as I showed earlier, I got another pack just from Target, and we're gonna see how long do these last. They look like the same lighters I've been using for the last... Do they? Is that something you can still view? Because I figured I was trying to look around and I was like, maybe if I torrent it or whatever. But yeah, let me know if that's something that you can still use. I used several Zippos out of spite for a Bic. What did Tronic say? D-Jeep? He said that I should use that one. But all right, so are you having the same problem, or are they working like normal? How long do these last? They look like the same lighters I've been using for the last 15 whatever years. So I don't know, but I'm feeling kind of skeptical. The whole planned obsolescence type deal. Shrinkflation, as they call it. Yep. They're fucking with us. They are fucking with us. Make sure you guys do, check the shorts tab for my shit. I'm putting a lot more up there. Oh yeah, it's up there. Okay, where one of those days I'll do that. I never really had the desire for. Oh, I am. Okay. Sorry guys. I need some grace. I'm a little out of sorts. It's an engraved silver Zippo sheath. I've never had the desire to buy a nice lighter like that because of the fact that I feel like I'm always going to lose them. And then plus the reason I like the Bic lighters is because usually, all right, let's just say this is the lighter, and so you flick it there, and the flame comes out here. First of all, you want to do it that way, not this way. It's so funny to me how many people will light it this way and then put their finger over where the flame is. You wanna flip it around and light it this way so that the flame comes up here. So, and I usually I'm in bed, and so I'm lying down, and then I want to have it pointed at me and just boom, so that the wall of the flame is the highest. Versus if you hit it upright, then you have to lean all the way over. And so little things like that. But the 50-pack Bics, They you have to light them upright, because if you put them on the side, then when you first flick it, it spits out a bunch of butane, and it's nasty. I almost lit my fucking a little stash on fire because of that. So now it's like boom, boom. Little things, but you know, piston zigzags are $3 fucking a pack. Too much. Hopefully that new 5-pack that I bought is is good, and that there was like, some shady off-brand Bix on Amazon or something. I don't know. Bix 40% leak, is it? I mean, not the ones that I've always used, or if they are, then that's not ever been an issue for me.
Sport has replaced boxing, and like there's still, obviously boxing is still a big deal, and fighters still get paid a lot of money. But like, I remember when I was, I don't know, in high school, I feel like
elevate the hips up and pull it way back. So we'd almost.
I think the reason why MMA is more entertaining than boxing is another really big reason is that there aren't really any big names in boxing that are super interesting.
Well, I mean, sure, but I think it's bigger than that. I think it's more a matter of that UFC is just more accessible. Boxing is, it's not fighting in that same way. It's high level. And so just watching it, it's kind of just rock'em sock'em robots, unless you know exactly what you're looking for with the shoulder roll and the I don't fucking know. I don't watch boxing. And the organic nature of how you can follow these characters. That's why I will never understand professional wrestling fans. It's like, oh, the story of it. Like, okay, I see, with football, with baseball, with even boxing and all that stuff. There's not like a story that is building up to each game. Like, yeah, the story of the season. But you watch UFC, and there's two real people who are almost like WWE characters, but they're not overdoing it, and all this shit is real. I mean, they might play it up a little bit, but I just think that's way more accessible. And then the fight itself, there's a lot more to look at from the untrained eye. And so it's I think it's just that it's more interesting.
Is that there aren't really any big names in boxing that are super interesting.
Yeah, and so I think there's not really any big names in boxing because of what I just said, not the other way around.
Like Mike Tyson, people came to see Mike Tyson fight.
Oh, Quality said, you've never been a huge anything. Wah, 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 wah. Stop the whole stream for that. Thank you.
Interesting. Like Mike Tyson, people came to.
So is UFC. That's exactly my point. You get into the stories that, oh, he said this about me, and blah 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 blah. It's drama, and I was just talking about reality TV and stuff. That the allure of reality TV is the same exact thing as the allure for UFC. Like, my guy, I like this guy, and he said that I was wearing gay shorts, so I'm gonna beat him up, and blah 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 blah. And because it does come to a conclusion with a fight, it's satisfying.
See Mike Tyson fight. People came to see Muhammad Ali fight. People would even come to see, I think those are the two goats of boxing, right? But then you have the people under that, like George Foreman, Floyd Mayweather, even, right? And like these guys, I think that the personalities really do carry MMA.
Yep. Shout out to Quality Vagina for the big $5. Thank you so very, very much. Money, look, another treat. Yay! There we go. Thank you. So very, very much. So you're a good sport. Good, buddy. Well, you gotta laugh or cry. Wait a minute. You mean like because it's like two men and they're not wearing a lot of clothes and they're rolling around? I've never heard or thought of that before. Niggy said pro wrestling is scripted though, so it's not the same. That's exactly my point. So even though it is scripted, so the storylines themselves are interesting, that they can make it interesting. They're really bad actors, so I never buy what it is, what the pro wrestling stories are. And then, of course, the outcome of the matches themselves are also scripted. Now, I don't have a problem with that in terms of the entertainment value, because if what was I going to say? If something is scripted, like I like movies, I like TV shows that are scripted. I have no problem with that. I can suspend my disbelief that this is real for the time that I'm watching it. I could do that. And for the fights themselves, it's a lot easier to just buy into that, knowing that it's scripted. It's the storylines that just don't work. Equality again. Said a matching vicarious donation from our good Mr. Johnson. Thank you so very, very much. And that makes you the new co-sponsor of the stream. Very much appreciated, guys. Where does that leave us? So we had, we were at 307, and then 10 more. So that's 317. And 3 out of 15 for the night. And 20 out of 75 with our co-sponsors, Arrow and Batman. Thank you so very, very much. Me and Morty very much appreciate it. Excuse me. Thank you. I read that right. Matching vicarious donation from our good Mr. Johnson. Thank you. Nikki said, I think reality TV appeals to people because of its voyeuristic nature. Yep. The ultimatum just came out, and ooh. It feels like you're a fly on the wall in a bunch of these conversations that you're not supposed to be a part of. And I think I've said this a couple times before, so I'll go through it quickly. But I always used to just shit on reality TV the same way everybody else does. But it was when I was in college when Jersey Shore came out, and my roommate was, he was following that closely. I'm like, why are you watching this gay shit, dude? And he was like, yo, but like I get that idea, but like this is literally my town. Like those are the bars that I go to. The extra, or not the extras, but the people in the background, those are my friends. I'm like, yeah, all right, that makes sense. And so you buy into it, and you follow any 5 people around for a period of time, and it's gonna get interesting. Just the fact that the cameras are there are gonna make shit happen. I don't know if you guys remember, but the very first episode of Jersey Shore was when Snooki got punched in the face by a teacher. So, very, very big thank you again to Equality. He said, to hell with equality. I want off sinking ships first, thanks. Roles in society. God damn it. I just saw a newer documentary called Shipwreck. It was about something not that serious as like a Titanic, but they were right off the coast of Italy, and they got too close and they hit the rocks, and the ship the ship was upright, and then it sank. And so like people on this side, when the thing started going, instead of being on this side of just a hallway, now it's a fucking elevator shaft. And then there were people who got on the lifeboats on this side, but again, on the same side. So what did I do? People on the side that went up, they were in lifeboats over here, and so they tried to drop the lifeboats into the water, but because the ship is turned that way, it just hit into the ship and just tumbled them. And one guy was literally holding his baby, was in the front of the lifeboat. And the thing knocked. I mean, it's like a pretty significant thing. It wasn't just like a life raft. But it hits the ship, and he gets thrown from the front all the way to the back and lands on his infant daughter. She's doing all right though. But crazy documentary. You should check it out. Yeah, Big Brother, Survivor, and 90 Day Fiance. I got to get into those. Because, again, I wasn't really into reality TV, but Netflix does, really good at just, really low tier stuff that just works. It just works. I don't know what to tell you. So now I'm into it, but I gotta go see the originals. Dick said the only time I watched reality TV was if a girlfriend forced me. Hey man, buy into it. It's fucking good. Yeah, the Concordia. There you go. That was interesting. Wicket said boxing takes more technical skill and specific moves, which are harder to generate excitement compared to MMA, which is a free for all for different skills and easier to entertain. I mean, I don't know if I would say that it's more technical itself because you have the technicality of boxing, but added with all those other styles. But yeah, it's just easier for somebody who doesn't know what's good to look at it and be like, oh, okay, I can pick up what's going on here, and I'm entertained by it. Shout out to Mystery Man. Welcome to the party. And yeah, that's exactly what we're saying. The voyeuristic nature of it. Welcome. I'm on a boat.
MMA in a weird way is almost like wrestling, but it's actually real. The guys are actually retarded and they're actually fighting.
I mean, kind of exactly what I said.
Big difference.
Be
So you'd, like,
bridging.
bend it.
He would
Yeah.
be on the top of his shoulders and bridging, and then he would have broken his arm. The
Yeah.
other option is you pull it off to the side like this.
Yeah.
And you put it to the side of your hip, and you can
Kill Tony. Remember he told like the Joker around the world in Madison Square
Oh,
Garden
yeah.
during the 2024 election.
Trash
I
bag.
remember getting into an argument with somebody about this, and I may have even been like in an interview, but
Mhm.
I don't remember. It could have been private too. Anyway, I'm like, he told a joke.
that wherever they were living was not tenable.
Yeah.
It was falling apart. And
Okay.
all of these places, like,
Okay, I was a little confused. I was like, these are clips, right? They're just kind of putting them all together. So like, this is a weirdly edited video that he's watching. It's like,
was not tenable.
Yeah.
It was falling apart.
Told an interview, but
Mhm.
I don't
this
remember.
is
It could
one
have been private
clip.
too. Anyway, I'm like, he told a joke.
And then it cuts to a different thing. And so that's JD being like, well, he just told a joke. Like, it's no big deal. First brother was in the UK. The first day, they all stripped off, rolled in clay, and pressed themselves onto the walls to decorate the house. Went off the rails from there. Well, that's a hell of a place to start. 98 Fiance is a wild. Wait until you meet Ed with no neck. I mean, I'm aware of him from the memes in general. But yeah, I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait. Oh, Equality's got to leave already. Oh my goodness. Thank you so very, very much for being here. And of course, those donations. You have a good one.
wherever they were living was not tenable.
Yeah.
It was falling apart. And
Okay.
all of these places like New York
Fighters
and
very intelligent when I'm talking. I'm joking around. Like, obviously, a lot of the MMA fighters are very intelligent, and they're not all dumb retards, right? I'm joking about it, but like, my point is that before, like, I mean, I'm friends with a couple of these people, right? I've talked to them before. Like, they're really nice, good guys. Like, like many of them are. Some are, of course, some are, right? I mean, but like,
I think most people have an understanding of that, especially ever since like the UFC blew up. That wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling, and professional wrestling are two very different things.
really nice, good guys. Like, like many of them are. Some are, of course, some are, right? I mean, but like, overall, I think that's the same as anything. My point is, though, is that MMA, I think that it better, like, boxing and MMA are male sports. These are male activities. Women aren't watching MMA.
Women definitely are watching MMA, but it obviously is very masculine and more for men. But there are definitely a lot of legit UFC fans that are women.
Women aren't watching boxing. And to the extent that they are, it's at a like 20-to-1 ratio. It is overwhelmingly combat sports are for men. And MMA being run by
Well, let's see if we can get an actual number on that. Okay, so what metric do we want to use? Buying pay-per-view, watching, a poll that they have watched. Well, let's see. I'm trying to. Should we do it with the voice thing? I don't. I forget how I do that thing here. I don't want to dictate. I want to. I thought I could just pull up the thing. Oh, okay. How do I use the thing where I talk and you talk back to me. Voice mode on the web. If voice mode, you'll see a voice in headphones. Is it this thing? Oh, there we go. I'm trying to figure out how many women watch UFC. I'm not sure exactly what metric to use, but someone said that it's 20-1 men to women.
Let me check real quick. That 20-1 ratio seems way off compared to what's reported. That would mean 95% male, 5% female. UFC's parent company has estimated their global fan base at roughly 1/3 female, 2/3 male. And some TV audience estimates skew much more male, but still not 20-1. If you want to quote something, I'd stick with UFC's parent company numbers.
Cool, thank you. Boom! We're gonna do that way more often instead of just typing it out. But yeah, I mean, so fair. It's 2-1, but not 20-1. Crazy. Yeah, that's what they were appealing from the parent company. All right, where we at? Let's dive back in.
Combat sports are for men, and MMA being run by a bunch of fucking beefy bald guys that let people say whatever the fuck they want and there are no rules to it is exactly what every young guy wants to watch. That's it.
Really, California, like especially Los Angeles and San Francisco,
Yeah, but from who?
they're falling apart.
Sure are.
And I have a bunch. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why is it that large population centers, like places like Los Angeles and New York, are almost always run by the Democrats?
Yeah.
Like, what is it about? First of all, what happened with the last election?
Oh my God, this is literally the worst clip I've ever seen in my entire life.
Right? Like who edited that?
Let me go to the next one.
Oh, the Epstein one. Let's go.
This is a dude who knew everybody. He knew everybody.
Jeffrey
So,
Epstein.
look,
So where
don't
did his
know.
money come from?
well, from given part of it is suspect tax advice and setting up tax schemes for a lot of very, very rich people.
Right, but why was
I think JD just held back on that. I think that he's like, well,
Yep. I didn't actually clock that until Asmon said it, but he was very cagey there.
Look,
so where
don't
did his
know.
money come from?
Where did Epstein's money come from?
well, from given part of it is suspect tax advice and setting up tax schemes for.
Now, if that was him dodging the question and dancing around it, pretty decent job as far as politicians go. Like I said, I didn't recognize it until he said something. I could see what he's saying now that he says it, but I didn't recognize it.
A lot of very, very rich people.
Right, but why was
I think JD just held back on that. I think that he's like, well, I think he held back on that. Did you guys notice that? Watch it again. Yeah.
Well, from
What do you guys think?
given part of it is
I see it in the eyes. The eyes were darting back and forth.
I think that
suspect tax advice and setting up tax schemes for a lot of very, very rich people.
right, but why was
Good catch,
he
Asmon.
possibly
motivated
from-
to influence academia, and what was the purpose?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I honestly can answer that. He's a control freak. He's a guy that wanted to control everything that everybody around him did. I don't think that you can, like, it was pathological with him. Like, he was trying to tell Bobby Kotick how to run Call of Duty. Unfortunately, Bobby Kotick listened. And now, like, Jeffrey Epstein was suggesting microtransactions. He's a control freak.
I kind of know
He's a
what that means.
narcissist. Yeah.
I have theories. There's of course the
Well, most people think he was Mossad
Mossad or CIA or some other deep state, whether in America or Israel or another
Or
country or both.
I was just going to say that.
You know, look, he clearly had connections to the highest levels of American intelligence.
Sure did.
He clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence. And
He sure did.
knew everybody. He knew everybody.
That's crazy. Do you think there's still Epstein investigations going on? I'm sure there are here and there, but yeah.
Do you think there's Epstein? I don't think so. I would say, based on just speculation, no. I think they want to keep as little information on that as possible.
Yeah. Oh, here. Uh-oh. JD Vance says he's being accused of being Israel. Here we go.
But again, when I open up the pages of Time magazine and I see that there's a literal foreign influence campaign being funded to tank the very deal that I was pursuing, and oh, by the way, many of the people who were receiving that money were actually attacking me in completely dishonest ways, my response to that is, well, go to hell. I'm going to do what I have to do for the American people. I represent Americans first.
Beast! Mr. Man said, you'd be surprised by the amount of closet politicians that try to project a conservative public image. Yeah, I mean, look at the televangelists. Every single televangelist ever was gay.
And that's the way that I've tried to do this job. And Joe, the crazy thing is, I'm like, people don't realize this. I'm actually in this, there's this massive pro-Israel, anti-Israel debate in the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like the reasonable moderate. And I think that's what so many people don't realize.
I agree with him on this. I think that he's not super pro-Israel. He's not super anti-Israel. He seems like he's kind of in the middle.
Is he in the middle, or has he just not taken a position publicly? I highly doubt that you're the vice president of the United States and you don't have a at least fully formed opinion on this influence is good or this influence is bad. Shout out to Glow and Dark. Welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. I don't know, man. That's why a lot of us who voted for Trump are mad. That is the question.
Pro-Israel. He's not super anti-Israel. He seems like he's kind of in the middle.
He was gay.
He's reasonable about it. Yeah.
Is I've been accused of being an anti-Semite.
Oh,
I've been accused
for what reason?
For what?
Quite literally for I've been accused of trying to. I guess some people say that I've insulted the Jewish religion, which is insane.
Really.
Like I have a ton of respect for the Jewish religion. I mean, if you talk about
specifically, did you say?
I don't know.
Dig, Rogan.
I've never heard a good, compelling argument for why I'm an anti-Semite, even though I've been accused of being an anti-Semite by many people.
Did you disagree with something that Israel did? You did? Okay, well then there you go. That's why.
But what I say to these guys is
classic.
Look at public
Classic
opinion.
Mistake.
Look at the way young Republicans versus Republicans over the age of 65 approach this issue.
Yeah, it's literally like the opposite. Where like old Republicans like 80-20 support Israel, and young Republicans 80-20 don't support Israel.
Like right now, Israel
Crazy
is
difference.
losing the public opinion battle in the United States of America. It is a simple and obvious fact.
The vice president of the United States just said that publicly.
Shit, I missed it. Hold on, my chat crapped out. Hold on. We gotta go back on that. Boom. Tab chat. I guess it doesn't need to be that low. Okay. Boom. Good. Oh, god damn it. I need to do that. And then that. Sorry, guys. We are struggle streaming. All right. Antiseptic. Yeah, you can never be antiseptic. All right, let's do it.
It's president.
Oh, yeah, let's back it up a little.
Where like old Republicans like 80-20 support Israel, and young Republicans 80-20 don't support Israel.
True.
Like right now, Israel
Crazy
is
difference.
losing the public opinion battle in the United States of America.
Facts. For the vice president to say that. Exactly. Well, all right. I mean, you can't even say the slightest thing about Judaism itself or just Israel, the nation, without being called an anti-Semite.
Now, Israel
Crazy
is
difference.
losing the public opinion battle in the United States of America. It is a simple and obvious fact.
The vice president of the United States just said that publicly. That's fucking crazy. Oh my God.
Is that big? I mean, like,
I think that's a really big deal.
I promise you that
Trump has said that publicly. It's a simple and
Why do
obvious
you think
fact.
that is?
So, I mean, yeah, I don't see that as that. Like, if he had said something specifically negative about Israel instead of just people aren't about this, then I'd be like, oh, whoa. But I don't think that's a strong statement because you can back that up. Like, from now moving forward, everything that you hear a politician say, you want to think about how is this going to come back in a debate or an attack ad. How is this going to be used against them? And so if he says,
I think that's a really big deal.
oh wait, he said, yeah, it's an 80-20 issue. So if you say that it's an 80-20 issue, and then someone brings that up to you, you can very easily spin that into, well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of anti-Semites, and people are not understanding this, that, and the other. I was just saying it's a bad thing that it's 80-20. So I disagree with Asmon. I don't think that's that big of a deal. Now, if he doubles down on it and saying, like, yeah, I'm one of the 80%, that would be different.
Trump has said that publicly. It's a simple and
Why do
obvious
you think
fact.
that is?
Well, let me finish this point.
Okay, go ahead.
Because they suck. And notice how he didn't want to answer that question either.
It's a simple and
Why do you
obvious
think
fact.
that is?
Well, let me finish this point.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my attitude towards this is Israel is an ally. Like France or like the United Kingdom,
Sure.
We're going to have disagreements with them. We're going to have agreements with them. There are areas where we're going to have similar interests and areas where our interests are going to diverge. So my approach to this is to say, you know what? When we're partnered, great, let's work together. And we're not, let's just be honest about it. And
By the way, this is exactly what I've said this is what I want to hear. This is exactly the way that I feel.
for that,
Yes.
people attack me for being an anti-Semite or anti-Israel, and they don't see the writing on the wall
Right.
that I'm actually just the guy advocating for a normal relationship
Exactly.
with a normal country.
Are they a normal country? All right, arguable. But yeah, Mr. Man, Gaza opened a few million eyes. You know, you guys can look back to October 7th. I didn't know what was good. And so I brought on two people to like tell me what's going on. And that was very, very pro-Israel. And the general sentiment was pro-Israel, obviously, right after the attack. But then other shit happened. And people don't like it. What metric is Israel our greatest ally? How? Because we give them the most money for the least amount. I want to know what the process is to officially make the public stance as the United States that we are no longer an ally of Israel. I don't know how you would do that, but I want that.
Right.
That I'm actually just the guy advocating for a normal relationship
Exactly.
with a normal country that's based around shared interest as opposed to based around, something else. So why is Israel losing American public opinion?
Well, the narrative is that Israel.
He doesn't want to answer it. I'm going to answer it right now. Number one,
Yep, I knew it. When he's like, well, let me finish this point. That wasn't just a casual thing. He was specifically dodging the question.
Why is Israel losing American public opinion?
Well, the narrative is that Israel.
He doesn't want to answer it. I'm going to answer it right now. Number one, anti-Semitism is the OG racism. And if you import a bunch of people from countries that have that racism built into what they do in the country, the way that they feel, it's part of their culture, then yes, obviously that's the case. You're bringing in foreign identity politics. It's the same as if you bring in a bunch of Somalians, you're going to have those people that, they have problems with people in Kenya, right? I mean, that's it. So that's number one. So you change demographics. Those demographics come from places that have different viewpoints on this topic. You're going to have a change. It's the same thing as if you bring in people from, like the Middle East and you ask, why is gay support going down? Geez, guys, it's a fucking mystery.
Well, it's not yet. It's not yet. The Muslim support for, or excuse me, the support for gay stuff is way up because of, what is it? Subversion. You think Mamdani actually is about Pride Month?
Come on, man.
East and you ask, why is gay support going down? Geez, guys, it's a fucking mystery. So that's number one. Number two, the videos of them bombing Gaza and all the kids crying, all the children being displaced, etc. It looks bad. Whether you think it is bad or not is not relevant. It does look bad. And for a lot of people, I think especially women, they see that and it scares them and it upsets them and it makes them not like Israel. I think that's another factor. I think another third.
Interesting. I would have thought you'd be a little bit more on the side of, yeah, do your shit, but keep it private. Nobody wants to know. Oh, great. They subverted me hard the other day. Nope. And we got John and Castle in the building. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you. We also got Matthew Kenny. Good to see you. That I had jewels to spend somehow, so you get them. Oh, well, thank you. We still have no idea how that shit works, and so if we get one of those jewel things, we still get more to your treat. It just doesn't count towards our goal. But thank you so very, very much, and welcome to the party.
And it makes them not like Israel. I think that's another factor. I think another third factor is AIPAC. AIPAC and the fact that we have all these Israeli flags flying around in our congressmen's rooms, I think that's a huge problem. I see an Israel flag in an American congressman's fucking office, and I want to send that guy over to fucking Israel.
I think it's a thing where just by watching you get some type of thing, like some type of balance or something. It's really weird that there hasn't been anything put out for the creators to understand how that works. And like, I can't see it in the studio chat. I can't see it in the StreamYard chat. And so, and I don't know, what that's worth or anything. So I think what it is that this is a thing that they are copying from TikTok for the vertical live streams. And it's crazy that I don't know how this is a thing, but you'll have TikTok battles. Let's see if we can pull this up. It's just, it's like I've seen subathons on Twitch, but TikTok gift competition. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, we'll just watch that. So we just have. Is there sound? We just have. Oh, we just have two people, and they're just standing there like, "Come on, send me gifts." And this little bar, it's like a matchup or a fight or a battle or something. And it's just the whole thing is whoever's getting more donations. So it's going, oh, come on, it's going this way. She's like, oh my God.
Lucky, you're beautiful. You're beautiful when you do that. Yeah. Yeah.
So the whole thing is just give me. I want my team to win. And so I guess like it would somewhat make sense if there, if there was like big creators that like we have on YouTube, where it's like, oh, I'm for this guy. So if you had like Asmongold versus Hassan, then I could see why there would be people willing to, I want Asmongold, I want Hassan to win. But like they're just random people. There's 3,000 people in this chat, which is not a lot for TikTok. It's a decent sized stream. But, on YouTube, that's probably closer to like 100 viewers, 100 concurrent viewers. And so if you have that small group and you are not somebody with the gravitas, I don't understand. Like, how are the people in the chat justifying to themselves giving all these things, like all these little things? They're all just gifts. It's like, oh yeah, I got one.
Lucky. Lucky, you're beautiful. You're beautiful.
I don't get it. I don't know how it is a thing. It's just insane. I don't really remember where I was going with that, but oh yeah. So the jewels. I think they're trying to steal that and use that, and so they're introducing these gift things that are around, and then when they fully launch it, people will already have the notion of jewels in mind. But weird shit. Crazy indeed. You can find videos about this stuff. Is this to me? Oh, Toronto Pride is an absolute debauchery festival. It's gross, and I'm bi. Yeah. I mean, it really doesn't even have to do with your sexuality. It really is just like gross stuff. Like, there are gross naked women. Just because I'm straight doesn't mean I want to see, what's actually going on at the nude beach. Remember Eurotrip? It do be like that.
American congressman's fucking office, and I want to send that guy over to fucking Israel. I'd say the same thing with Somalia. I'd say the same thing with fucking anywhere else. Like, if you think this country is so great, get the fuck out of here and go over there. And so anyway, Ted Cruz is one of them. Randy Fine are one of them. And I like Ted Cruz. I like Randy Fine. But the reality is that fuck you. You can't do that. Get that fucking flag out of here. You're an American, Mike Huckabee. Yeah, there you go. And so there's that.
So it's interesting how Asmon is into the Warhawk neocons. He's all about it. He's all about it. Careful. Be careful. Because he's very charismatic. Asmon's very charismatic, and he cuts through a lot of the bullshit. But that's because he takes such a hard stance.
And then on top of that, there is the reframing of criticism of Israel to criticism of Jewishness and anti-Semitism categorically, and then assigning that a unique evil that is separate and different than any other form of racism, as if they have the monopoly on being oppressed. I think on top of that, it is Israel, AIPAC, ADL, and all these other, tangentially aligned organizations that are trying to create ways that they can socially pressure people into not criticizing their country's decisions.
Yeah, it's social proof. If everybody else thinks, think of the N-word. Like, back before, that would be, we decided that wasn't a good thing to say for black people. People were saying it all the time because it was more socially acceptable. Now, it's a lot different. Even though I openly use that word in the Discord and whatever, I'm not going to say it on here for those reasons.
Like, for example, like making rules and like trying to do censorship and stuff like this. So all those are the reasons why people hate Israel. Mm-hmm. I would say those are, and that's in no particular.
And let's not forget, just in general, the power they have over our government.
Pure order, by the way. But like, those are the reasons why people hate Israel.
Has a very disproportionate effect on American politics.
Yeah, I see that narrative. I actually think that,
bro, like, how are you going to say it's not true whenever there's how many people have other?
That sounds like narrative. That narrative, is that a narrative, or is that just what's happening?
Flags of like France, the UK, Germany flying around in their offices. It's only Israel. We have dozens of other allies around the world that we have close relationships with, whether it's Japan, Canada, even Mexico to a lesser extent, but especially the European countries. There's probably another one that I'm not thinking of right now that's a big ally. But in general, we have a lot of these allies, but we're never actually activating on that on the same level that we do with Israel. We don't see their flags. Australia. You don't see any of these other flags around. It's only Israel flags. That's the reason. And by the way, it's the same thing that I said with like the Helen of Troy, DEI casting stuff, all this bullshit. Average people, like,
Yeah, I mean, like the same thing with gay and retarded for a while, and now with Frogger. I have no problem using those words. It's just the TOS and the social proof that, like, let's say I blow up and somebody comes back to get clips of me saying this, that, and that. You weren't allowed to say, and so it just didn't come up. But we're back.
This is what's crazy about the human mind, is that a lot of people understand when something's fucky, but they might not have the critical thinking skills or the IQ to be able to really verbalize why they think it's fucky. But their brain, their instinctual, ape brain, lizard brain in the very back of their mind tells them, because it's evolved for thousands of years to notice these trends and to exist subconsciously, and it's telling them something's not quite right.
Pattern recognition is the strongest gift, not gift, but strongest what's the word I'm looking for? Strongest attribute that has come from Darwinian evolution is that pattern recognition. We're able to put things together. Now, sometimes we do it too much, but when the example they always use, if you're on the plains with the Native Americans and whatever, you hear bush ruffle. Well, it could be the wind, or it could be a tiger. So the people that thought, oh, it's just the wind, without knowing, more likely to get killed, less likely to procreate. Then we have the people who are like, I don't really know, but it could be either. So let's just be safe. I've seen that pattern before. Those people survived and had kids.
Something's not. I'm detecting a pattern here, and they might not even understand it, but it's there.
They look. Do they try to influence American politics? Yes, but like I said earlier, a lot of other countries do.
Yeah, of course.
I think.
Yeah, but to the same degree, to the same level of success.
To the extent that Israel does,
I think some are better
Got 'em.
at it than others. I think the Israelis are definitely more effective at it than most, but I wouldn't say that they're the
is.
only effective country by any means.
I don't think anybody's saying that. Like, we get rid of our ties to Israel, and then, whatever country's next, we get our ties to that gone too.
Tries to influence American politics. I just think you have to be self-aware about it. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a country of 9 million people. We have 330 million people.
Vinegar. What was I watching? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I was watching something, and the person said vinegar weird, and I was like, "Did you do that on purpose?"
About it. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a country of 9 million people. We have 330 million people. And so, of course, they're going to try to persuade Americans. They're going to try to move Americans in one direction or another. I think that's just the nature of the beast.
I think Israel is unique, too, because Israel is a projection of Western and American power in the Middle East.
Strong point. Strong point. That it's I don't have a good comparison, but that is a strong point. That, like, the whole shit is Muslims and Jews and Middle Eastern Christians, and then we have this Americanized type of religion over there. Good point.
That's basically why, that's why Israel is different.
More than that, the concern is that they're spying on American politicians, that there's concerns about.
Well, I mean, and then you connect it back to Epstein. We know that Epstein was doing some shit. We know that he had ties to Israel, and so whether it's the Israeli government explicitly, saying, America, you have to do this, or if it's just a matter of, well, we've got our guy in there, and he's got blackmail, so we're gonna have it could happen many different ways. And it happens in many different ways. And it happens in too many different times.
Funding, there's concerns about influence, there's concerns about whether or not politicians are, whether they're aligned with Israel or whether they're aligned with the United States first.
Exactly.
Well, there's certainly, I definitely get those concerns, but my sense is that the way that all foreign influence works in the United States is people try to manipulate American public opinion. And then from manipulating a public opinion, they try to get the outcomes that they want.
So this is the kind of shit that is not going to fly. It's not going to fly in the primaries and the debates. You're going to have to stand strong on one more position. Israel good, Israel bad. That's what people are looking for. And it is a matter of, if you are not pro-Israel, then, as you just said, you get called anti-Semitic. I think the only path forward is to for more people to openly be against Israel, while specifically talking about how it's not about Semitics, anti-Semitic. What's the noun for that? The Semites, right? Semites. There you go. Told you I'm off today. Two different things. But you have to carve that path out before we get there.
American public opinion, and then from manipulating public opinion, they try to get the outcomes that they want. I mean, this thing.
He's right. I mean, he's obviously right.
Is a very good example of this.
I think, and I do think that JD Vance is right about this, but I think that he has to have stronger messaging about either. He has to either go in one direction or another.
Got him. Told you. Exactly. I promise I didn't watch this before.
I think that he's too wishy-washy about it right now. And he's just like, he's saying like, I basically, I understand how you feel. And I don't think that's enough for these people one way or another. It's not enough for the pro-Israel people because they're like, well, then why aren't you helping us? And it's not enough for the anti-Israel people. It's like, well, why aren't you calling out this foreign influence, right?
That's what I said.
Because I do think that like, yes, Israel is way, way better at like foreign influence than like, let's say Zimbabwe is. So yes, while other countries are trying to influence American politics, we have to look at which countries are doing it, which countries are effective, how they're doing it, and if the way that they're doing it is beneficial to America at all. Or
motherfucker cooking.
Or if it's just purely damaging. So yeah, that's the way I would see it. And let me see. Oh yeah, this is a voter ID.
And I think they cheat.
Oh boy, the voter ID. How the fuck can we not get the Save Act passed?
And I think they've been doing it forever. And I don't think there's any other reason why you would have no voter ID. And they try to say, oh, it's racist to have voter ID. Like,
is it racist to buy alcohol?
What are you talking about? Do you think other races are incapable of going to the DMV? That's insane.
Yes, that is what they think. They think that POCs are a lower form of life to them. Or maybe they are the POC, but they figured it out, man.
Insane.
Yeah, it's
racist.
It's actually super racist.
That's really racist.
Right, the implication of their argument is literally like blacks and Hispanics cannot go to the DMV to get an ID. By the way, if you look at the...
He just says it. He just fucking oh my God.
Wait, I missed it again. What if I could say?
Racist.
I was reading guys. Dick said, watching my opinion of Vance is the same. He doesn't impress me. I tend to agree. It's just not. He's too like. He was a good VP pick because of that. Because of the fact that he's kind of non-committal. He's chill. It was meant to counterbalance Trump. And so with that in mind, if you think Trump and Vance are a good team, and you want to recreate that, then the situation is that JD Vance has to find a VP that's more like Trump. And then it would be like, well, why don't you just be the VP and let the other guy, head the party? Has anyone ever ran for VP twice in a row? See a video, foreign truck driver plan. Yeah, so that shit's wild. So many people using the vehicles as weapons, and too common. Yeah, it's not only influencing, it's is it straight bribing, as in the Strait of Hormuz, or it's straight bribing? I meant to hit the laugh, but.
Are incapable of going to the DMV? That's insane.
Yeah, it's
you guys remember the Kathy? Was it Kathy Hochul? I'm gonna look it up.
Races are incapable of going to the DMV? That's insane.
Yeah, that's
racist.
It's actually super racist.
That's really racist.
Right, the implication of their argument is literally like blacks and Hispanics cannot go to the DMV to get an ID. By the way, if you look at the
He just says it. He just
One more time.
By the way, if you look at the
he just
literally
That's
it's
racist.
actually super racist.
That's really
right,
racist.
the implication of their argument
Okay,
is
yeah, just straight up calling out their racism. And agreed. Great. Let's see. What am I looking for here?
That what is happening, the power.
This was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, May. What did I say? May 7th. Let's get those captions on so you can see exactly
That
Which
what
is-
is happening, the power.
the power of Christ compels you.
That what is happening, the power of supercomputing right now is in the hands of the large private companies. What if we created a consortium that opened up all the potential of AI to larger groups, such as college campuses? Right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
What?
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. Young black
Insane.
kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
Insane. I mean, what is going on? What is going on? How do you say that and not realize that it's racist? How do you say that and not realize that it's not racist? And then, how did everybody just accept that it wasn't racist? Insane. Let's see the rest of the quote just so we get the full context.
They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
So if we bring in poor black kids who don't know what a computer is to work on AI,
What?
huh? Bitch, what? What does that even mean? Handsome lady? I don't know about all that. I don't know about it all. All right, diving back in.
That's racist.
It's actually super racist.
That's really
right,
racist.
the implication of their argument is literally like blacks and Hispanics cannot go to the DMV to get an ID. By the way, if you look at the
he just says it. He just fucking oh my
I genuinely don't believe that it can go any higher or any more direct. But they've surprised me before. They're gonna do it again.
God.
Black Americans are as pro voter ID, even though most Black Americans vote Democrat, they're still pro voter ID as much as white Americans is.
Most
White
Americans are voter.
So
they
this is a
want
crazy
voter
thing.
ID, except
Yeah.
for operatives.
So I'll offer on the Joe
Operatives.
Rogan podcast this deal as vice president of these United States that if Democrats really don't think that there's any cheating, give us voter ID.
Yeah, if there's no cheating, then what are you worried about? If there's no quote unquote cheating, like tipping your fingers on the scales within the rules, what's the issue?
I just don't know
Give us
how
voter
it's
ID,
not.
and we'll stop talking. so
Why
much
is that
about
not
elections.
a federal thing?
We are trying to make it a federal thing. So
I was gonna say something about like states' rights there, but for a federal election, that doesn't really make sense. Yeah, we shouldn't have different rules for different states and counties, even for a federal election.
we are right now trying to pass the
Crazy they don't have voter ID.
Save America
Ridiculous.
Act. One of its main provisions is a requirement that you do voter ID. And we actually have, I think, a majority of the Senate that would.
Completely fucking agree on this one, right? Yeah. Corrupt the
Like you said, you have to have an ID to get EBT, Section 8, and welfare. Got him. Got him. Got him.
emotional retards. I know, man.
Wait, who's an emotional nature?
Agree on this one, right? Yeah. Corrupt emotional retards. I know, man. And then here we go. Is this more Jeffrey Epstein stuff?
He clearly had connections to
saw this part.
the highest levels of American intelligence.
Part of this I
he
saw.
clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israel. And I try to make this point. It's one of the reasons why I'm always careful. And I say there are some elements within the Israeli government who don't like our peace process, because there are a lot of elements within the Israel that actually do like our peace process. They
What?
And I say, and I try to make this point. It's one of the reasons why I'm always careful. And I say there are some elements within the Israeli government.
So the reason I'm careful and said that there are some elements within the Israeli government
who don't like our peace process, because there are a lot of elements within the Israeli government that actually do like our peace process.
I don't know enough. I don't know enough to be like, no, that's bullshit. But that does sound like empty rhetoric. Let's see. Yep. Remember, read the index card. Read the index card.
Who don't like our peace process, because there are a lot of elements within the Israeli government that actually do like
looks
our
like
peace
Asmon's
process.
got something to say.
The Israeli government is probably the same as the American government, where it's comprised of a bunch of people with different political opinions. There are probably some people who think Benjamin Netanyahu is amazing and some people who think that he's evil.
Right. And so, as I assumed, without fully understanding, being able to try, kind of get there, looking for the meeting and not finding it, all I said is, well, not everybody is, it's not all. Did anybody say every single person of the Israeli government is doing X, Y, and Z? That's a straw man. He's not blaming the whole government, just some of them. Like, huh? What? That made no sense. I mean, technically it makes sense, but I mean, it's stupid.
There are probably some people who think Benjamin Netanyahu is amazing and some people who think that he's evil.
Recognize
Probably,
that this
right?
indefinite campaign is not good for them either. And the Epstein thing is interesting because as much as I know, Prime Minister Netanyahu, not a particularly popular person in the United States of America right now, Epstein seemed to be connected to the elements of the Israeli deep state that were left of center. Like, I've always found that fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like, well, actually, if you really look at it, anything that you don't like about Epstein or Israel, that's the left, not me, not us. That's what it sounds like. And again, I am not nearly an expert on any of this shit. But that sounds like bullshit.
Right now, Netanyahu, not a particularly popular person in the United States of America right now, Epstein seemed to be connected to the elements of the Israeli deep state that were left of center.
Oh, so nobody on the right had anything to do with Epstein. It was just the Democrats.
Come on, man. Like, I've always found that fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like he was super connected to the right of center of Israeli politics. America, he was connected across.
He was across the board. Yeah,
okay. I misheard. So JD Vance was saying that Epstein was, had support from both sides of the aisle in the Israeli, or rather the left side of the Israeli government. And in America, it's both sides. He said Canada's 2 official languages, with our government prints documents at taxpayers' expense in over 100. I'll try that one again.
True. And what is this here? JD Vance that missed Joe Rogan. Joe Biden is guilty of mishandling Epstein file release. That's true. Absolutely.
But I definitely think you have seen this very discreet, extremely well-funded campaign to try to derail the negotiation and try to derail the deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's just this is part of the campaign. Like, yes, this has to do a lot. Like, a lot of things that he's saying is probably him trying to affect the midterms more so than set himself up for the presidential run. But 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. He's just saying what he needs to say.
Campaign to try to derail the negotiation and try to derail the deal. And, there's this Time article that came out yesterday. A friend sent it to me. It's like worth reading because it lists a bunch of people.
It's like worth reading. that rubs me the wrong way.
Send it to me. It's like worth reading because it lists a bunch of people who have quite literally been paid by a former
The Grinch. He just moved. He
Trump
looks like the
campaign
Grinch.
person who was himself paid by certain elements within the Israeli government. And those people are attacking me viciously for quite literally trying to accomplish the negotiation objective that the president set for the country.
You see, this is the kind of stuff that universal suffrage creates. Because if you had everybody that was smart voting, like only landowners voting, for example, you would.
Being a landowner doesn't make you smart. I get what you're saying, but and I'm still kind of not sure where I land on all this. But it seems to be a matter of, like, if this is the marketplace of ideas and your ideas aren't winning, there has to be some aspect of you're doing it wrong. And just taking out the people who don't agree with you seems like kind of a cop-out. That doesn't mean I want women voting, really. But I'm just saying, on principle, it shouldn't matter how stupid they are if we have the better ideas. Of course, there's the rhetoric and the propaganda from either side. But I want, in an ideal world, that we stick to that.
Everybody that was smart voting, like only landowners voting, for example, you wouldn't have this garbage happening because people would be able to see through this garbage. But because everybody can vote, we have this total, the goy herding. This is.
Yep, they do that here too. You can have it in Spanish and whatever, and like half of the fucking test is the road signs. Insane. Matthew said there should be something to filter out the lowest of both sides. And again, I don't disagree that, like, if that were an even thing, where it's like, again, just for example, I'm not saying IQ, but I'm using that as an example, that if we say, oh, you have to be this level of IQ, that is way more fair than targeting the people who already aren't voting with you and trying to get them out. That seems like a different thing than, well, women just vote for the Democrats, so let's take away their vote. You know what I mean? Not to say that there aren't other arguments to repeal the 19th, but this is something I'm much more aligned with. Nikki said, non-net tax contributors shouldn't be allowed to vote. No representation without taxation. That's a good one. I like that. I don't think I'm a net contributor, but but that would be fair. That would be fair.
We can vote. We have this total, the goy herding. This is why it has to happen.
So
what is their position? Like, are they attacking you? How?
Oh, it's social media posts. It's they're leaking to reporters. They're attacking me obsessively, saying that we should not be negotiating with Iran. We should just keep the military campaign going indefinitely, and that is their explicit position. And
the military-industrial complex. Any war is a good war to them.
Coming after me, saying that people have come after me and say that I'm influenced by Qatar, that I'm influenced by foreign governments, that I take my marching orders from Tucker Carlson, and there's just so much bullshit out there. When what I'm actually,
well, I mean, Tucker's kind of had a little bit of a breakup with this administration, so if he's being paid by somebody or he's being influenced by somebody, I don't think it's Tucker.
Trying to do is accomplish what the president of the United States told me to accomplish, which is a settlement of this.
Wow.
That accomplishes our objectives.
Amazing.
Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. We have the free flow of oil and gas. And like, I should be clear, I don't actually mind. I don't mind that let's say certain elements of the Israeli government want to criticize the deal or have disagreements about the deal.
Of course, that's what's going to happen.
I don't even mind.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Tucker's not going crazy. He's going away from what you like. He is in my camp of saying, well, Trump was obviously better, but he's fucking up and not doing what he promised. And he's not listening to his base. Or it's at the very least splitting his base. And Tucker's just on the other side of that base. Candace is straight up grifting.
Find an effort to try to influence, you know, foreign governments try to influence the United States all the time.
I do mind that. I have a problem with that, and I think that we should look at that as an external threat.
Yep. If we're talking about people who live in the United States and work here and all that stuff and are paying into the system, part of the economy, but they're not net positive tax contributors, and we're saying they shouldn't have an influence, then how the fuck should anyone from any other country have influence?
We should. Like, these are people that are trying to, and it's a matter of how they're doing it. It's like, it's one thing if you're telling people the truth. It's another if you're lying.
You know, Israel does it. Other countries do it. It's just sort of the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
What bothers me is actually when Americans meaning American leadership allows that influence to affect their judgment.
It's because everybody can vote. If everybody can vote, you immediately default down to the lowest common denominator. And the lowest
Agreed, but that was always... was it always the point? It wasn't always the point. The other thing that makes this difficult is even if you want to say, okay, we messed up and we gave the vote to too many people, whether it's women, non-landowners, whatever the fuck it is, stupid people, whatever. There's a difference between saying, okay, we're going to start this system and here is the threshold for who can vote, versus everybody can vote, but actually some of you can't now. That's a very different endeavor. Because there's always going to be a lowest common denominator, but where do you draw the line then? Taxes is a good one.
You immediately default down to the lowest common denominator. And the lowest common denominator is a complete boy cattle retard that's going to hear anything like that and immediately lose their mind.
And to affect
That's the reason why.
what they are advocating for. That's what really bothers me. People are always going to try to influence the United States of America, whether they're allies of ours or whether they're enemies of ours. But again, when I open up the pages of Time magazine and I see that there's a literal foreign influence campaign being funded to tank the very deal that I was pursuing, and oh, by the way, many of the people who were receiving that money were actually attacking me in completely dishonest ways, you know, my response to that is, well, go to hell. I'm going to do...
Yeah, fuck off. Like, what is this? Yeah, exactly. And let me see if I can find any more of these here and pull it up. And I don't know if there's any more of these other posts to say before. Definitely the armbar part. Oh, no, it's not that. Pull up the Iran deal. Oh, L.A. reminds him of a third world country. Uh-oh.
Skid Row is now 55 blocks. It was 50 blocks just like a year or two ago.
Did I hear that right?
Blocks.
Third world country. Uh-oh.
Skid Row is now 55 blocks. It was 50 blocks.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he said it used to be 5. I don't know. Yeah, I heard the 5, and I thought he said it was 55, and it went to from 5. I'd be like, that's fucking crazy.
Just like a year or two ago.
Wait,
Okay,
so it's
my first experience
Growing.
with
Oh yeah, it's growing.
Skid Row was, so Usha used to work at this like very fancy litigation firm, and
And so we went outside, and there was a bunch of dudes slapping H, and we like, tee off, babe. No, just me.
Southern California. Before she was second lady, she was a corporate litigator. So there's a Christmas party in downtown LA, and you get these instructions from her firm, and they're like this really convoluted way of, this is how you have to get to this Christmas party. And I'm like, why do I have to follow these directions? Why don't I just
drive
Google
through?
Maps? Right?
Yeah.
This is like 5 or 6, 7 years ago.
Shout out to Galaxy Glaze. This is another HR. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you.
Why do I have to follow these directions? Why don't I just put it in Google Maps? Right? This is like 5 or 6, 7 years ago. So we realized that the reason why they gave you these convoluted directions was so that you could avoid Skid Row at night.
You have to drive around them.
And so you get to this party.
Oh
you
my
drive
God.
through Skid Row if you follow Google Maps' directions. You get there, and it's like this beautiful facility with like fancy food and fancy wine. And then there are armed guards outside of it and these gigantic walls.
And so all that means is that they know that this is a problem. all the way to the point where Google's going to decide, all right, let's not bring people through Skid Row. It's a matter of optics, really. It's like if you're going to show that you know that the armed guards are there, if it's going to be known that Google is going to take you around this spot, then that means that is something that needs to be addressed.
And fancy wine, and then there are armed guards outside of it and these gigantic walls. And I realized when I was there, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of going to the U.S. Embassy in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Like,
well, let's see. Nikki saying, so public employee taxes are just dollars being circulated through the system that have no effect on actual revenue. The only revenue the tax system gets comes from the private sector. Government don't make no money. They just gonna take your money.
I can't believe they have him on here just wilding out saying this shit.
Quick side quest. I don't like the way that non-ghetto sounding people, whether black or not, say wilding out. Like I grew up around a lot of black people who use that, and it doesn't sound like that. So if I'm typing it, I always type it like that. You're wilding out. Wilding. You're wilding out. That doesn't flow. You're wilding out. Just a quick side quest.
Here just wilding out saying this shit.
See, it sounds kind of cringe. Are you
Holy
wilding?
fuck, man.
super security, crazy wealth and privilege and status on the inside, and squalor and misery on the outside. Like, it's the first time I'd ever...
I mean, it was the same thing when Xi Jinping was it LA or San Francisco? And they cleaned that shit up in 2 fucking days. They can do it. They just don't want to. Galaxy said Esmond's facial expression is so intriguing for about 2 minutes. It's so funny how he react, like just his facial reactions. I think it's hilarious. You get the eyebrows and then the Grinch smile. I'm gonna try and pause it on a Grinch smile
on the inside and squalor and misery on the outside. Like, it's the first time I'd ever thought America, like this part of America, is actually more like a third world country than anything that I thought we'd ever become.
Yep. I said if he said it your way, he would get accused of calling Trump appropriation. Well, that's why you just don't say it then. Like, it doesn't, like, I mean, we already have, that already evolved into crashing out and chimping out, which has gone beyond black people now. So I'm just like, I mean, I'm nitpicking. But hey, if it comes in my head, I'm going to let you guys know. The reason the public employee thing bothers me is that 25% of employed Canadians work in the public sector, which is an unsustainable level of government-funded employment. Big government is bad. Heavy eyeshadow? I think he's just got a big brow. I don't think he's wearing eyeshadow. He might be wearing some, like, some shit not to get the shine, but I don't think so. I mean, he does look like that, but I don't think so. Yeah, and then you say all those government employees vote for the government that will keep and hire more of them. It's a real problem. And we're next. We're going down that direction. We're next.
America is actually more like a third world country than anything that I thought we'd ever become.
Holy fuck, man. He just, okay, well, there you go. And I don't know what to say. It's just fucking insane to see that. It's worse than a third world country. This episode is great. I'll watch probably...
All right. Worse than the third world? Let's not be like, oh, I'd rather be... No, you wouldn't.
Fucking insane to see that.
If for no other reason than if you're on Skid Row, you can walk 55 blocks and be not on Skid Row. If you're in a third world country, you can walk in any direction. You're still going to be in a third world country.
It's worse than a third world country. This episode is great. I'll watch probably one more. This is the other big one.
It's just very disheartening that you have to consider the fact that it's really possible that the elections get stolen.
Well, exactly. It's the importing of third world criminals and the process to make them part of the elections. Hey, we got voodoo. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, sir. Welcome. There you go. There we go. There's the Grinch smile. It cracks me up every time. It cracks me up every time. All right.
That it's really possible that the elections get stolen, and the California one was a big one for me.
I would, okay, per capita, probably.
That the elections get stolen, and the California one was a big one for me.
And why not just have mail-in, or why not just have voter ID?
Yeah,
You actually
that's
saw
insane. Not only did they not have voter ID,
Yeah.
you can't show your ID. You're not allowed to show your
You
ID.
can in fact be like prosecuted if you try to force somebody to show their
Which
ID.
is that
Yeah.
seems like you want people to cheat.
Exactly.
And it's
It doesn't seem like it's that you want people to cheat. It's pretty fucking clear. You want people to cheat. Full stop.
You know what I always say? If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it acts like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck. They're probably cheating. The reason why it looks like cheating is because they're probably cheating.
from the
The reason that I keep pausing it before Asmon gets to say anything is because it sounds like we're saying a lot of the same things. So I don't want him to say it and then pause and be like, yeah, I agree with that. Like before when you go, I don't even remember what it was. We called something out that I didn't think of. I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm pausing it because I'm giving my own reaction to the JD Vance conversation. Me and Asmon seem to be quite aligned.
same people that were saying you have to have an ID that shows you've been vaccinated just 4
So, like,
years
to
ago.
go,
Yeah.
to go to
restaurant.
grocery shopping or to go to a restaurant. Yeah, no, it's definitely
That's another.
But that's free. That's free. It's like $20 to get an ID.
Just 4
so, like,
years
to
ago.
go,
Yeah.
to go to
restaurant.
grocery shopping or to go to
Yeah.
a restaurant. Yeah, no, it's definitely
That's another good point. Yeah. Again, like these are the same people that wanted you to have a vaccine passport to go to the grocery store. Says that you aren't allowed to have an ID to vote for the mayor.
that's the part
Oh my
about
God.
it that I think makes most people of my political persuasion skeptical of what the Democrats are doing.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to cheat in the election, then just make everybody actually show an ID.
It's just that simple. Shout out to Gronic. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you. That both sides know they cheat. Only one side talks about it. Yup. Indeed. We were just talking about the Bicklighter conspiracy earlier. And I'm going to have to try those D-Jeeps. Welcome.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to cheat in the election, then
Jesus.
just make everybody actually show an ID. What another thing people don't realize is, I didn't realize until a couple years ago,
Yeah.
the voter ID saw
So this is for the U.S. 14.6 workers are government employees. What did Nikki say in Canada? That's not good. Because what benefit do you have to want to lessen your opportunity to have a cushy job where you literally do nothing and get paid a bajillion dollars and have all this insider information, connections, go down the list. Not helping me.
was a lot of the mail-in ballot problem, because if you have to show an ID in order to get a mail-in ballot,
Right.
in order to actually, confirm that there's a real identification.
Of course.
Wait a minute. You don't
That's all the way up. Gotcha.
have to give them an ID to get a mail-in ballot.
Nope.
I
That's the problem. They say mass mail out. And so without an ID, even on the most basic level, like if you could just go through your neighborhood, let's say you live in a suburban neighborhood, go through the neighborhood, open the mailbox. Obviously that's, illegal, but how the fuck is anybody gonna know? You take the mail-in ballot, you fill it out yourself, You fucking sign it with the fucking Kirby. And Bob's your uncle.
What? Well, then how can they be sure they're sending it to the person that... Really?
Really, really?
What the fuck? I assume that you...
It used to be that way, where nobody was just sent a ballot. If you had, they had absentee ballots, or you can get a ballot like that for like the elderly and things like that. But you had to apply for it. You had to use your ID before you would get the ballot, and that ballot itself was tied to your ID. So when you send it in, like worst case scenario, it gets lost, but nobody can take it and switch it. But then COVID came, and the world fell apart. And so Trump is talking about about a tariff for the smoke pollution. Yeah, I heard that. I'm not mad at it. That's my air, baby. That's my air. Western New York, the haze is real. Yeah, Central Jersey is. It's not like bad, but it's hazy. And my parents who moved to South Carolina, they were up visiting the baby, and so we stopped and had lunch. And my mom was freaking out. What's going on? It smelled like smoke. My eyes, I can't see. Like, all right, it's not that bad. Matthew said, all you need is a printout of the voter registrations from your area, which isn't hard to get. Then people just start filling in names and mailing them in.
Bingo.
Ooh, plastic in Chicago. So I think it's worse in the Midwest. I saw. Let me see. That's not what I wanted to do. Canadian. There you go. That's what I want. Yeah. So like this is what we're dealing with. So we have it's not really going past the Carolinas, but Jersey's right here, and the Midwest. This is Illinois, right? Or this one? I don't know. One of them. Geography was never my strong suit, but that's what it look like. Can't see the other side of the farmer's field across the street. God damn! All right, it's not that bad here. Galaxy said my boss was called Harry. His brothers were Tom and Dick. I kid you not. Happens. It happens. Fucking hosers, you know?
What the fuck? I assume that you...
After that vote, that solves a big chunk of the problem.
This is just logical.
Yes.
Like, I'm not
Every country
skeptical.
does it.
I'm not skeptical. I'm accusing them. I think they stole the election.
Yes.
I said shit. Me too.
And
Yes.
I think it's common. And this idea that elections can't be stolen. I always say,
Why
Sorry, you want to do it?
not? Why not? Yeah, I mean, of course they're going to cheat. I mean, these are the same people that cheat. Remember they said, there's no fraud in Minnesota. Well, there's a little, well, Nick Shelley's just there to record. Okay, all right.
And does that fit what we say about the liberal playbook? Taking 10 minutes, we have 50 minutes left. Or 10 seconds, 50 minutes left. Thank you. The liberal playbook. Deny? That's not happening. You're just racist for saying that. You're homophobic for saying whatever it is. Step 1, deny. Step 2, admit that, okay, it's happening a little bit, but you're blowing this way out of proportion. It's not that bad. Step 3, you get to the point where it's undeniable. It's like, well, of course that's happening. You're racist if you don't think it's a good thing. Over and over and over and over again. Oh, what the fuck just happened? Whoa. Okay.
They got arrested, but what about okay, that guy got arrested too. Okay, well, there's no fraud account. Well, what about all the hospitals? Oh, wait, there's no hospices. It's like, again, I wonder if the people that are cheating on everything else are also cheating on this. It's insane.
You think?
People. Okay. Do you think
Oh my
that
God.
the amount of election fraud is 0%? No one thinks that.
Nobody thinks
No one
so.
thinks it's zero.
Exactly.
There's always some overzealous person that works somewhere that's doing something. There's always crazy people that
Correct.
like blue no matter who, we got to win, or red
Yeah.
no matter what. There's always people, right and left, that are going to try to rig the election because they think it's
Absolutely.
imperative.
It's just human nature. That's just human nature. And this ties in directly with my position on authority and specifically the police. That people are people are people are people. And maybe there's some people who are out there looking to do what is supposed to be done as a law enforcement officer, that is a voter, somebody and that works with the elections themselves, whatever it is. Yes, we would hope that the people who want to keep the integrity of that, those are the people that are up there, and some of them might be, but for too many of them, it's just the power.
Have to do it.
We saw.
Think about if you actually think that Donald Trump is Hitler, and you really think that he's this evil, terrible rapist pedophile that's going to kill everybody, and he's going to become a tyrant, and he's going to destroy the United States and everything. If you really think that, imagine the mind of a person who believes this. Of course they're going to go to extreme lengths to stop that.
I mean, the fact that we have the one of the most common thought experiments is, if we could travel back in time, would you kill baby Hitler? The reason that is a reasonable question is because it's not clearly yes or clearly no for everybody. I'm saying, like, you might have your answer. I'm definitely not doing it, or so I'm definitely doing. But the debate is raging on. Dick, you heard me before?
This. Of course they're going to go to extreme lengths to stop that. Duh.
There was people like Oprah
Yeah.
Winfrey was saying it. Like, if we don't win this election, you may never vote again. Like,
Yep.
what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why?
What?
Who's going to tolerate that?
That's
Left
right.
or right? That's crazy.
That's right.
But that attitude allows people to justify cheating.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think they cheat. And I think they've been doing it forever. And I don't think there's any other reason why you would have no voter ID. And they try to say, oh, it's racist to have voter ID. Like, what are you talking about? Do you think other races are incapable of going to the DMV? That's insane.
Yeah, it's
That's racist.
It's actually super racist.
That's really
Right,
racist.
the implication of their argument is literally like blacks and Hispanics cannot go to the DMV to get an ID. By the way, if you look at the polling, Black Americans are as pro-voter ID. Even though most Black Americans vote Democrat, they're still pro-voter ID as much as white Americans is.
Most
White
Americans are voter.
So
They
this is a
want
crazy
voter
thing.
ID, except
Yeah.
for operatives.
So I'll offer on the Joe Rogan podcast this deal as vice president
And
of
he
these
set this
United
up
States.
for it,
If
right.
Democrats really don't think that there's any cheating, give us voter ID.
I just don't know
Give us
how
voter
it's
ID,
not.
and we'll stop talking so
Why
much
is that
about
not
elections.
a federal thing?
We are trying to make it a federal thing. So we are right now trying to pass the Save America Act. One of its main provisions is a requirement that you do voter ID. And we actually have, I think, a majority.
What?
What? What?
Oh! Who is that guy? He at least needs to be spanked.
Of the
We can't do voter ID because Democrats won't win elections anymore.
Senate that would support it.
Really?
But this is just weird.
Look at that, his face.
Weird.
Is so...
Democrats won't win elections anymore.
Senate that would support it.
Really?
He's funny. He almost died in World War One. Well, just take 3 clicks to the right. Would have been gone. Would have saved the world. But that's life, eh?
Can't
That's
do
life.
voter ID because Democrats won't win elections anymore.
Senate that would support it.
Really?
But this is just weird Senate
Very
procedural
interesting.
bullshit. There is a subsegment of people who want voter ID but won't blow up the filibuster in order to achieve it. And so they're so married to these old world Senate procedures.
Well, I wonder if that has to do with what I was talking about earlier, where it's one thing if we're going to say, okay, here's this thing called voting, and here's the threshold for what you need to meet it. Well, okay, maybe it's a little unfair, but it can't be. That's a very different thing than going from, okay, everybody can vote, but now we're going to take it away from you. There's I can't think of it, but there is when I was in college, I thought I learned about a study that was done. The details aren't super important, but the same principle applied. That it was, let's just say it was a cupcake. I don't remember what it was, but they would have a participant, and they would give them a cupcake, and they would have another participant that never that they didn't give them a cupcake, like in separate rooms. So you have room A, cupcake. Room B, no cupcake. You're just sitting like, what's going on here? The room, the cupcake room, because it's already there. When they're like, either people will just eat it, or they try to take it away and measure the neurons firing and stuff, versus putting the cupcake in front of the person who ever saw it, and it was very differently. So I apologize for butchering the study, but the point is that we feel like when we have things, then okay, that's the status quo. That's what I have. That's different than getting a new thing, even if that thing is exactly the same, and even if your desire to have it is exactly the same. It won't be.
To achieve it. And so they're so married to these old world Senate procedures.
Exactly, bro.
Are you calling me Hitler?
Like, that's exactly. I'm so glad that he sees this. Yes, these
I just bit my tongue when I fucking said
old fucking retarded dinosaurs that refuse to go extinct are so fixated around the policies and the procedures and the protocols that they don't care about what the problems are. That's it.
That they're going to make it impossible for us to pass in America. God. Now we are, for what it's worth, trying to fix that and trying to address these like weird procedural archaic things.
Who cares about the procedure?
Like, if you ever, I'm sure you hear people talk about the filibuster all the time.
Yeah,
I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole. Here's what the filibuster is. It is a pure Senate rule. It is a creation of the Senate procedures, which basically says that anything that has to do with the budget is a 50 vote threshold, and everything else non-budgetary is a 60 vote threshold. Now, as you can imagine, there's some gray area on things that maybe count as budget issues and should be 50, or are not budget issues and count at 60.
I mean, I don't care about the details here, but when Aslan says, who cares about the optics? Unfortunately, everybody on the other side of the aisle. And so if you do something and the optics aren't right, then that becomes ammo for the other side. Because the feeling of homeostasis when you have things is often based on previous experiences. So not everyone experiences it the same way. Yeah, of course, not everybody is going. But the trend, because remember, psychology is not a hard science; it's a soft science. And so you discover patterns, but it's not really a matter of like chemistry, where it's like, oh, this is how this works. So it's a little bit of a different type of thing. But I'm saying in general, that's how that's how people are going to feel. Like if you let's say YouTube's fucking up all over, and you can read about some of the other shit that YouTube is fucking up in this week's Substack. Check it out. We got the ghost of a troll. Forgot about this guy. We got a bunch of different stuff. Question of the week: where's the line between racial humor and actual racism? A little blurb about that. Are you a viewer? Are you a fan? Or are you my audience? And then this is where I was in a bad mood when I wrote this. I could have phrased it better and not been so bitchy, but hey. Yeah, no. And plenty more. Of course, we've got the videos of the week and what I'm watching. And then, of course, the throwback.
I will answer.
It's a yes or no question.
If you would
Do you think
cutting me
gay
off.
people and
Yes.
trans people
They
are the same
yes.
thing?
Yes, they are homosexuals. Yes.
So if you want to check that out, head to substack.com/@Lutch, TIJ.
Count as budget issues and should be 50, or are not budget issues and count at 60. So what we have tried to persuade the Senate to do.
Yeah, YouTube's just not doing well today. I showed you this already, right? Yeah. Like this, I mean, this is where, like, where's the chat? Search chat. Come on, man. Luckily, it's working through StreamYard, and then it's also, oh, what the fuck is happening? Okay. Luckily, it's working through StreamYard, and it also is working through, the stream that I'm just popping out my own chat. But yeah, they are not doing well today.
Choose and count at 60. So what we have tried to persuade the Senate to do is to treat the voter ID as something that can fall within the 50 vote threshold. And there is no law, there's no provision in the Constitution. It is legitimately that there are senators who are so attached to the idea that budget is 50, non-budget is 60, that they're quite literally...
Then just add in paying for everybody's voter ID. Why can't they? Well, wait a minute. Couldn't they just add in the idea of giving everybody an ID? And like you could wouldn't that I don't know, like
that's not a bad idea. I mean, it's pretty fucking basic that like, okay, what's the issue with the, and specifically comparing it to the vaccine card. The big issue that they talk about is the transportation to get to the DMV and then to pay for the ID itself. I wonder how much does it cost to get a non-driver's license ID? If it's different in different places, just give me the average. Let's see. Any guesses? How much does it cost to get a non-driver's license state ID? I want to see some guesses. Nikki said, if you're often deprived of food or shelter as a child, you may not experience feelings of security even when you have regular access to them because of learning anxiety. And so exactly, okay, so never mind. I was going to say, because that's a different thing. But the notion of not having a thing and needing a thing, that is a slightly different thing than having a thing and then that thing being taken away. So I think that is true, and that's going to affect specifically how individuals go through. But the study itself does show that people in general, like when it's that level where it's like, I have this or I don't have this, do you want this? Like, if they've done it with kids too, and it's like they use a marshmallow, and it's the same thing. It's like the kids who don't have the marshmallow, they go in and they're like, "Do you want a marshmallow?" And I think they have to do like a math problem for it or something. It's a very slow, a very minimal process. But the people who, the kids who had the marshmallow in there already, they all wanted to do the thing because they're seeing the marshmallow and like, I want that marshmallow. Where we at? It's your fault. All right, so Galaxy said $16, $10, $2, $30. I don't think it's that expensive. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with under $20. Yeah, 50's OD. Low end $5 to $10. Most states $10 to $35. High end $40 to $50. With a few, as he said, shady dealings. Yeah. So I guess it's a little bit more expensive, but that goes exactly to what Asmon is saying here. All right. So make the IDs free. Make the IDs free. There's so much other free shit that you give away that doesn't matter. This actually does. And that would solve the issue entirely. But of course, they don't want to. They don't want to.
And like you could wouldn't that I don't know, like I have no idea, but like wouldn't that work? Like no, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. Then it's budgetary. Like I feel like that'd be budget, right? I mean, I don't know anything.
What do you guys think? Free? We'll put that to I can't do polls. Wah. Well, we'll do it this way. New poll. Should they make IDs free so that there's no reason not to show ID to vote? Yes, they should be free. Or, no, make them pay. All right, hit the poll. Should they make IDs free so there's no reason not to show voter ID? 1, if yes, they should be free. And 2, make them pay. Make them pay. Let me know.
That'd be budget, right? I mean,
Let's move that.
I
Willing
don't
to
know
prevent
anything.
Voter ID in America.
Yeah, that's too much logic. Yeah, why does it cost money anyway? I have no idea. And next fraud is ID centers giving out IDs to millions. Yeah, but like obviously you have to check about couldn't disenfranchise millions of eligible citizens, i.e., those without access to birth certificates, married women with name changes, seniors, Native Americans, those relying on mail-in voting. No, I don't believe that. And I think that if you end up getting disenfranchised because you have to provide an ID, it's probably because you're a fucking retard. Like, and that's something that people might like. JD Vance isn't going to say this, but I'll say it. If you can't figure out how to get an ID, you are
one vote, guys. You're all fucking. Oh, but what did you have for this? Every time I fucking put a poll up, you don't fucking do it. I don't understand why. Do you understand that pisses me off? I took the time. I stopped the show. I made the thing. Just put the fucking number.
Are so incompetent and stupid that you have no business making decisions for the country. If you are so old that you can't make
this isn't going to work. You have to put just a 1 or just a 2.
You can't figure out how to get an ID, then I don't want you voting because you're going to be dead in 3 years anyway. It doesn't even matter. If you're married and you can't get an ID, it's because you're retarded. You're stupid. Like, if you are so stupid that you can't figure out how to do that, then you don't deserve to fucking vote. And if you are from a culture that doesn't have any IDs, whether it's Native American or an immigrant culture, and you are so far disconnected from the American experience that you don't even have a photo ID, then I don't want you voting in our presidential elections because you're fundamentally not really part of the country. Like, you don't even have a fucking ID and you want to vote for the president? Get the fuck out of here. So I think there was one more example. Oh, black people. Yes, black people don't know where the DMV is. Yeah, I think they do. So, yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It's right next to the probation office. Oh! Got him. There you go. They said 1, but if you can't hold on to it, you pay. That's fair. That's fair. First one's free. Everybody gets 1. That's fair. Nikki said, I actually have that problem, but I can still vote. I just can't get my driver's license changed. Oh, more bureaucracy and red tape.
Black people, yes. Black people don't know where the DMV is. Yeah, I think they do. So, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Native Americans have an ID card, though. It's a card that says they're Native American. I've seen it. Well, then, yeah, just have them use that instead. What do you mean?
100%. 100% of you saying yes. Just make it free. I like this idea. The first one is free, but if you lose it, it costs money to replace an ID, but it doesn't cost money to get the ID. Very true. Very, very true. All right. Matthew said, if you're not smart enough to get an ID, then you can be discriminated against. What exactly do you mean?
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Okay, this is the last one, gentlemen.
The last one.
Okay, all right. Maybe 2, because this next one probably is really good. This is about the Epstein files, okay?
But if people want to say we mishandled the Epstein release, guilty. We
very guilty.
You did. You fucked up. You fucked up massively. And it was the beginning of the end of public support for the Trump campaign, because this was one of the main things that people online cared about. And you totally fucked it up.
Yup. And so the people who are going with the propaganda, really, oh, that's not a big deal, blah, 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 blah. All you are doing is feeding into the rest of us who are not willing to blindly support one side or the other. You are taking that into the realm of where the what am I trying to say? You are bringing it to where it is a controversy. Now, it's fair enough to have your opinion, but let's not pretend that it's unreasonable, even if you don't want to, even if you don't care about the Epstein files, you can't act like it's weird or crazy or whatever for other people to want it. That was what they ran on. Nikki said, when my mom died, the government wanted the marriage certificate for him to file my mom's final stuff. It's like, what the fuck? Can't see we filed together for 46 years? Well, that would be too simple now, wouldn't it? Matthew said, left out of elections? No voting without ID. That's all we want. That's all we want.
You did.
Especially the communications of it.
What do you think should have been done?
I think that we should have just dropped everything at the very beginning. And like,
Fucking exactly. Yes, you
obviously
should
it
have.
takes a little time to
You're
review
right.
the stuff, to find the stuff,
I missed that one.
And you told
Done.
I think that we should have just dropped everything at the very beginning. And like,
fucking exactly. Yes, you
obviously
should
it
have.
takes a little
So fuck whoever is going to give me shit. You're not going to give me shit for agreeing with your daddy's homeboy saying exactly the thing that I'm saying. So unless MAGA, which again, we've lost that. I thought we were more MAGA than Trump, than Trump because he got out there, but that's how language works. So they are MAGA. And that's why I don't have the MAGA hat in the frame anymore. Because I'm not them. I'm America first. This was always a coalition of different groups of people. It was all of the not woke crazy people. We're in the same boat. And it could have been fine that you personally didn't care about the Epstein files. But when the MAGA people started demonizing the America First, or maybe it's not even on those lines, but when the people who didn't care about Epstein started giving shit to the people who did care, now it's conflict. It could have otherwise just been, oh, okay, well, that's my opinion, that's your opinion. Could have been that way. Not anymore.
at the very beginning. And like,
fucking exactly. Yes, you
obviously
should.
it takes a little time to
You're
review
right.
the stuff, to find the stuff, to redact things where you have
Yes.
victims and so forth. But we should have just done it as quickly as possible.
But some of the stuff that was redacted, some of the names that were redacted weren't
victims. Yeah.
So yeah, I've
Yeah, remember it was so sloppy too. They weren't like, again, I don't fully know how this works, but they weren't like official redactions where you could just pull it up in like Microsoft Word or whatever and just change the highlight and you could see what was under it. Like, what the fuck? How is this the highest level of our government? How?
looked into this, and my understanding of this, having looked at a lot of this, but not all of it, is that it is sometimes hard to draw a distinction between victim and co-conspirator. And like, let me highlight this in a very sort of
that makes some sort of sense. That makes some sort of sense because you have like obviously the Ghislaine Maxwell's of the world, but you know, she's the bottom bitch. There's other chicks who are going to be trafficked that are used to traffic more people. Fair, but why the fuck haven't I heard that in the last 2 years? Matthew said, I'm a little MAGA, but mostly America first. And doesn't it suck that has to be a thing? Shouldn't being America first make you inherently MAGA because of what it is? Not anymore.
between victim and co-conspirator. And like, let me highlight this in a very sort of obvious way. Ro Khanna, who's been one of the loudest voices on the Epstein file. Well,
Yeah, he was
he
one of
became
the
very loud on
co-writers.
the Epstein files the minute Donald Trump became president. Didn't seem to care about it during the Biden administration.
Fine, you can call that out and be like, this guy didn't care until it was a political win for him. But he's right. I was like, oh, this guy didn't even care about this murder until he walked in on it.
What?
He walked in and found the victim, and now, all of a sudden, he wants me arrested. It's like, you were the only one home, right? Yeah. Okay. So then the other person's right. I understand why you don't like that they're shining the spotlight on you. But there's a there.
Out on the Epstein files the minute Donald Trump became president, didn't seem to care about it during the Biden administration.
I don't even know what that means.
He actually brought one of the Epstein victims, I think, to the State of the Union last year, or maybe it was the year before last. Well, like that victim, and I'm not saying she wasn't a victim. I don't know anything about her particular case. She was also listed as a co-conspirator in some of these documents.
And then the fact that Rokana, the MAGA coalition, no, not even the MAGA coalition. From here on out, when we talk about MAGA, unfortunately, we have to now understand that as the bad parts of the conservative movement and the Republican Party. That's what they did by forcing the language this way. My back is fucking killing me. Yeah, so the fact that you agree with him on this is another reason that they're going to say, oh, so you're agreeing with a Democrat? Like, yeah, he's right.
Right, so there's an idea that some of the people who are engaged in the sex trafficking were also...
I mean, how do you think you become vice president, man?
Right, so there's an idea that some of the people who were engaged in the sex trafficking were also...
This is very common, is that what he did, is Jeffrey Epstein did, is that he had girls that he had previously abused and sex trafficked. Then he took them and made them sex traffic and abuse the new set of girls after them. This is extremely common.
Facilitating it as well.
So they were incentivized to get more girls.
Yeah, but yes, that's right. But the idea is that it's hard to sort of, it's sometimes a little bit of a gray area between, some of the people who were alleged victims were also alleged co-conspirators. And so what DOJ tried to do was kind of make that judgment as best they could and release as much as possible.
I don't hate that answer. I don't think it's like, oh, okay, well, that fixes everything. But
again, I think that they totally fucked it up. I'm glad that he's right. He's saying that they fucked it up. I'm very, very glad to hear that.
Pass too broad of a brush here, but it's like, Gavin Newsom did this speech a few months ago. The president, I think it's the funniest thing ever because he's like speaking to a group of black leaders and black businessmen, but it's like an audience that is 95% black. And they're asking him about his dyslexia and his struggle with education. And he basically says, yeah, I'm not very smart like a lot like you. And it's like,
I'm like you. I can't even read. Meanwhile, there's a ton of interviews where he's talking about all the books he reads. Like he's so full of shit.
Yeah. Can you believe that the vice president is saying this? Oh my fucking God.
He's
full of shit, but
I can believe that.
It's admirably full of shit.
But
like we've been in this era of, oh, he said that for the last 10 years.
I admire.
It's impressive how
the sheer tenacity that he has in being full of shit. Because it's amazing.
It really is amazing. But it speaks to the incentives of.
He is a complete
kind of
bullshitter.
Look, there's a real populism that I'm very much past too broad of a brush.
And he said, Trump is not daddy. Daddy is not coming on anything. He's kind of like the shady uncle. I like him, but wouldn't trust him with my kids, wife, or money. Like most politicians. Yep. I feel at least Trump doesn't do the trafficking stuff. Yep. That's where the bar is. That's where the bar is to see, is this somebody that should be running the country? Oh, they're not doing trafficking? Oh, well, that's a big win. That should not be a big win.
Here, but it's like,
oh my God. Yeah, I don't get that. It's nuts, man. JD is one of us, yet somehow he became president. I guess so, right? And we even read it, the rape gang report. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you're right about that. There's a lot of those examples. And definitely, let me scroll back down. I'm going to look at these other ones here and find everything else because there's been a bunch of other bullshit that happened. And JD Vance, the elections were very suspicious. Spencer Pratt retweeted this.
What happened with the last?
Oh, before I forget, the new Spencer Pratt ad. Well, let's give you some context. Spencer Pratt. In case you haven't seen this one, this is who we're talking about. Harvester of Sorrow.
Tonight we're taking a closer look at ballot harvesting.
Call it ballot harvesting.
Ballot harvesting can be one of the most confusing.
Sycophant. Sick up, ant. Sick up, ant. Woke, woke, woke. Well, I'm gonna like him more. Okay. Sounds pretty gay, but do your thing, homie.
Thing called ballot harvesting.
Ballot harvesting can be one of the most confusing and contentious ways to cast a ballot.
Now, what is ballot harvesting? Well, first off, it's illegal in normal states, but in California, it's perfectly legal. Ballot harvesting is when you terminate the chain of custody that is meant to ensure secure voting, and it gives non-election officials, including employees of the candidates, legal access to your ballot to do whatever they want with it.
Practice involves a third party picking up a ballot a voter has filled out and dropping it off at a drop box or an elections department. Ballot harvesting could lead to someone voting in place of someone else, or allow a third party to tamper with or throw out ballots.
That's another thing, too. It's not just about random people who are going to walk down the street and steal ballots and have 20 to 100 ballots for themselves. It's about those entire organizations that maybe aren't explicitly set up for ballot harvesting and cheating, but they have all the resources and all the incentive to take the ballots that people are legitimately sending in. I see, vote for Republican? Throw it in the trash. How the fuck do we think that Nithya Raman, the other, the DS, I mean, I don't think she's a DSA, but she was a fucking socialist. She was in last place. She was in last place. By a lot. And then only the mail-in ballots came in, and it was only Nithya Raman. And they voted to raise their taxes.
Used to be restricted to just immediate family members. California opened it up to anybody.
Prior to 2013, a voter had to be ill or disabled for someone else to return a ballot for them. And they had to be a family member or from the same household. After 2013, you no longer had to be sick or disabled. If you wanted a member of your household to return your ballot, they could. In 2016, the law changed again, so anyone could return your ballot, and there was no limit on how many ballots they could turn in.
They don't want anything to get in the way of their ballot harvesting operation. This is their playbook. It's been their playbook for decades.
Anyone can take your ballot. Proponents of ballot harvesting will pretend that it's necessary because people who live in remote areas and the elderly can't figure out how to send mail, and they need a
This better be fucking copyright-free music.
blue-haired commie to do it for them. People who live in remote areas and the elderly can't figure out how to send mail, and they need a blue-haired commie to do it for them. Obviously, this is fake. You can send mail by putting it in your own mailbox. So if you have the capacity to receive the ballot, you have the exact same capacity to send the ballot. The mere fact that you have the ballot is proof.
Ooh! Ooh! If you can receive the ballot, you can send the ballot. I don't, oh boy. That is a really strong point. And it rolls right off the tongue.
To receive the ballot, you have the exact same capacity to send the ballot. The mere fact that you have the ballot is proof that you don't need a stranger to send it. This isn't about helping people send in their ballots. It's about giving activists access to your ballot so they can rig the game. This new system is so bad, even the LA Times called for its repeal, warning that it does open the door to coercion and fraud. Now, on paper, it is illegal for ballot harvesters to tell you how to vote or influence you in any way. They cannot tell you what to vote for, but what stops them from doing it? What stops a Nithya Raman supporter from collecting ballots at homes with Pratt signs on their lawn and then just throwing them in the garbage? Well, nothing. Ballot harvesting lets the camel's nose under the tent. It introduces the menace of political activists influencing voters and electioneering at the polling place, but out of view of authorities, removing voting from the sterile field. You can't electioneer at the polling site where you vote in person, but now the ballots are sent to everyone's homes. Everyone's home is now a polling site, but there ain't nobody overseeing the laws. The casino has rigged the game. That's why they never lose.
They can just go and send out a bunch of labor organizers, go through housing projects, go through homeless encampments, get votes from people who weren't planning on voting, get them to vote in the ways they wanted them to.
And maybe
the fucking Tim Burton of it all.
Tough to coerce a vote at a polling site. The people there are committed voters and they've already made up their minds. But when everyone in California gets a ballot, that includes a lot of apathetic people who never vote and simply don't care. Easily talked into voting for the commie candidate when one of their minions harasses them at the
You're gonna get free stuff! Oh, okay. I guess I'll vote for that.
door and says, "Hey, you want a rent freeze? You want free stuff? Vote for Nithya. Hey, I'll take the ballot for you. You know what? Why don't you just sign the envelope?"
Look at the skin color. Oh, it's like the paleness, the eyes. Oh, it's fucking. This is gold. This is gold.
You know what? Why don't you just?
What the fuck? This is who's voting for Nithya Raman and Kamala Harris.
Sign your envelope. I'll deal with all the paperwork. Is that legal? Nope. But who's...
We got Sorchamax in the building. Welcome to the party. Some good 1/3 of your subs. Keep going, brother. We all started at 0. Welcome to the party. You're talking about JD Vance on JRE, but I just had to show the new Spencer Pratt ad. Welcome to the party.
Envelope. I'll deal with all the paperwork. Is that legal? Nope. But who's watching? You think the apathetic non-voter is going to call the authorities to report illegal electioneering? The game is rigged. You can play if you choose, but the House will never lose. The solution is so simple.
You can play if you choose, but the House will never lose. In the age of the internet and social media, it is going to be about who can be the most entertaining, and secondly, who has the best ideas. Hopefully, we, as the voters, are smart enough to pay attention to the people who understand the messaging, because if they understand the messaging, they may understand the actual issue better. It's not, it's not a 1-for-1, but we can expect that.
Mail ballots need to be banned. They're too vulnerable to fraud. It's also a laughably...
I'm like, oh, nice, a new person. All right, maybe they'll give me money.
Need to be banned. They're too vulnerable to fraud. It's also a laughably inefficient and primitive system. We should be voting by phone. All of our phones have high-level security and biometric ID with face and fingerprint recognition.
All right, so let's go with that. Would you trust the process more if we used 2FA to vote through your phone? 2FA is two-factor authentication, so you have like a password, and then you either have to draw the thing, or it's just a second level, or like it sends a code to your email. That's 2FA, in case you didn't know. Would you trust the process more if we used 2FA to vote through your phone instead of paper? Okay, well, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Well, phone instead of paper ballots. Please put the number, please. Put Where is it? Oh. We gotta stop that one. Okay. There we go. Would you trust the process of voting, obviously, more if we use two-factor authentication to vote through your phone instead of paper ballots? 1 for yes, or 2 for no.
High-level security and biometric ID with face and fingerprint recognition. We already use our phones for banking, medical records, TSA, crypto. If it's secure enough for all of that, it's secure enough for voting. Every phone vote will be posted to a public ledger anonymously with a unique ID that only you can possess, so you can go online to the ledger, validate that your vote was counted, and every item you vote for was properly cast. The results would be perfect and instantaneous, with results at 8 p.m. on election night, the moment polls close. Not only would the vote be more secure, more efficient, and more accurate, turnout would skyrocket. This is a 360.
It's on the screen. What do you mean, what's the poll again? It's on the screen.
Win, and there's literally no good reason to not vote this way in this modern era, unless, of course, you don't want the fraud to stop.
Election.
They don't want the fraud to stop. So that is who we're talking about here. So whatever we got here, dash him.
Spencer Pratt.
Well, obviously. Oh my God. Would you trust the process? We just watched a video of it. Would you trust the process more if we use 2FA to vote through your phone? Yes or no? Vote through phone. Yes or no? Vote through phone. Yes or no?
Retweeted this.
What happened with the last election in Los Angeles, just the primary, I think was
crazy.
So super sus.
That was
and here's why it's super sus. Not just super sus that Spencer Pratt, who was in second place, got overtaken by Nithya Raman in the mail-in ballots, but that the mail-in ballots also passed a tax hike. The people voted to pay more taxes.
Yep.
in a state where you have the highest,
taxes. That's right.
Now, this does kind of, well, it doesn't necessarily point to the fraud, because it does make sense that if the people actually wanted the socialists in there, then the taxes would be higher, because that's how it all works. So I don't think people would have voted on that specific thing, but when you bring in the socialism of it all, it changes things a little bit differently. Don't forget about Morning Guys. He's still here. He's still hurting. His his foot's doing better. I haven't let him go down the stairs again yet. I'm just gonna carry him through the weekend. He needs your help. He needs your help.
Taxes.
Yep.
In a state where you have the highest,
taxes. That's right.
They're like, we don't.
What the fuck? Give me a minute. I'll be right back. And good pause, right? And back. Okay, sorry about that. We're back.
Paying that. That is insane. When you have direct evidence that they were recruiting homeless people.
That's right.
And they were getting homeless people and giving them cigarettes and cash. There's evidence. Of this, to use their address and mail in ballots.
Yeah, I would be the Californian Joe who wakes up in the morning and says, you know what? I'm going to go and vote for higher taxes.
I don't pay
enough.
But I mean, again, what do they think that the socialists think socialism is? Now, a lot of them aren't going to put two and two together. Like, oh, you get free stuff? End of thought. But you have to imagine that if people are understanding that structure, even at the basic level, then they are saying, yes, I'm happy to pay more taxes if we get the free stuff.
I feel like we could fix this if I just pay 5% more percent.
5% more taxes.
5% more is going to solve all the problems.
About it too is it's that, okay, so after the initial ballots all came.
There you go. We have a federal government account to file our taxes, this is Canada, and access our tax records we register to vote with. So vote with, so in theory, it could be also used for secure voting. They don't want it. They don't want it. We got to break the tie, guys. 2FA instead of paper. Yes or no? 1 or 2?
It was Karen Bass was number 1. Spencer Pratt was right behind her, and then number 3, whatever this woman's name is. Nithya Raman. Okay, so
know her name.
You would expect the mail-in ballots to be more or less like the original ballots in terms of 1, 2, and 3. I'm not saying Spencer Pratt's going to win the mail-in ballot, but it just so happened that the third place person, in relative terms, did a lot better than the first and second place person.
Proportionately better.
Such that the Republican was actually kicked out of the race, so that there's not actually a real election in California. That to me was the crazy part. It's like you were designing the vote share in order to kick Pratt out and put the third person into second place. That to me is like very, very bizarre. Because what is the theory of the mail-in vote that is somehow like so much more pro Nithya relative to Karen Bass?
Makes no
Exactly. It's not about Spencer Pratt. It's about her outperforming Karen Bass to such a wide margin. That was exactly it.
Why would it be? Why would it be? I mean, Karen Bass was ahead by every metric.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. If you just extrapolated that, it would make perfect fucking sense.
What happened?
Anyway, let me scroll down and look at some of these other ones.
All right, guys. So this is done. We are coming up on the 3 hours, and we don't have any members here. I am still hungover, and I feel like shit. So I think I'm going to cut the members only, just because we don't have any members here. So I know we got wrenches here, but if you ain't a member, then you ain't a member. Right? Oh, we got Nikki here. All right, but yeah, we got through the whole video. I'm finished. I'm done. So I need some rest. We went a little too hard last night. Yeah. All right. So thank you so very, very much for hanging out, guys. Big shout out to Arrow, aka Jennifer, for the $10, as well as Equality and Deference. Because vagina. Guys, thank you so very, very much. I'm sorry I'm not at my best, but we will be back on Sunday for the movie night. I'll figure out. I think instead of like the voting for the movies and then putting that, I'm just gonna pick 4 movies that I'm like, okay, I want to see what these movies are because I know of them, like Jurassic Park, Empire Strikes Back, whatever, and I'll just put those 2 there. Oh wait, it's Wednesday, right? Okay, yeah. So we'll talk about it on Friday. All right, guys. Sorry. It is what it is. What it is. You gotta know when to call it quits. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out once again. You've got Morty, the Overlord, and I have been your host, Lunch, aka the. Actually, let's raid ya. Who's around? Who's around? We got our Sean. Oh, the DMZ. Which one would you rather? Which one would you rather go to? We have. Confluence is judging. That's probably, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. Right. I think he is. Yeah. So all 3 of these are the same thing, but we've got our judge here. So let's do that. So judging. How do I do this? Customization. Redirect. Judging horse radish. Boom. All right, guys. Again, thank you so very, very much for hanging out. I will be back on Friday, and I'll be back on Friday. Go, at least do me the favor and click the link to go over to Confluence and just say what's up, even if you don't stay around. It makes me look stupid. If it's like, oh, Indian Jesus raid, and then there's nobody there. Just go over and say, hey, what's up? Chat for a few seconds, and then if you want to dip out. But just a little favor for me, when both me and Morty are not on our best. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so very, very much once again, guys. We have Morty the Overlord, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.